Tara Dotson says her ex-boyfriend, Jesse Harrison, owes for kicking her truck. Jesse says Tara got him fired from his job.
Ms. Dotson, according to the complaint that I've read, the defendant used to be a boyfriend of yours. He is no longer a boyfriend of yours, but you claim that after you had already broken up, he vandalized your car on 2 separate occasions. Mr. Harrison says that he did no such thing. When did you end your relationship with him?
Approximately around July 15th of 2005.
How long had you been together?
Approximately about a year and a half.
Did you ever live together?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
Approximately a year.
Did you live in your house or his house?
My home.
Who do you live with?
I live with myself and my children.
How old are your children?
I have a 9-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
When did he move out?
Probably around June of 2005. And
why?
It wasn't working. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I felt like life was taking me in other directions, and I felt like I couldn't do all the things I needed to with him. He was becoming very controlling, very possessive.
Was he working when he moved in with you?
Yes, he was.
Did he remain employed during the year that he lived there?
No.
He did not?
He did not.
When did he lose his job?
Approximately 4 months after we lived together.
Were you working?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a full-time student at IUSB, and I also tutor at Jackson Middle School.
Okay. When was the first incident of your car being vandalized?
September 15th.
Tell me what happened.
That day I actually had surgery at St. Joe Medical Center, and after that my friend Christine, she's right here, her and I and Jesse Harrison, we all went to my friend Heather's house.
How did he get involved with you on that day if you had broken up 2 months before?
I called him from my home and I told him that I was having surgery that day, and he asked the hospital. And I told him I didn't care, but I really, inside I felt like I needed him for support. He's been my main support person. And then when I was at the hospital and they were taking me to the pre-op, he showed up.
Did he drive you home?
No.
Who took you home?
Christine drove her car, and she drove me and her to Heather's, and he drove my truck. And when I left the hospital, I was upset that he was driving my truck. I did not want him to do that because he has no license. And when we got to Heather's house, we had this argument, and he got mad at me because I didn't want him to drive the truck. And he said, well, I was there for you at the hospital. And I told him, you didn't have to be there for me at the hospital. I had somebody else who could have been.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Shh. Come back to you. Go ahead.
And at that point, he just yelled, and these were his words verbatim. He said, who, Petey? And then he kicked my truck and threw a flower pot at it. And then he ran between 2 houses, and that's when I saw an officer on a bike, and I stopped him, and he made a police report for me.
Okay. When was the next time that your car was vandalized?
The next accident was on the 16th of September, 2005.
Go ahead.
Again, at that time, I was still under medication for my surgery. My doctor told me that I needed to do bed rest for a week. At that time, I went over to my friend Christine's house. Jesse was there, and...
How did he get there?
He drove me.
So you called him again?
I had to take my kids.
Just a second. So after you saw him kick your truck and throw a flower pot at it and report it to the police, you called him again to pick you up?
Your Honor.
Just a second. Is that what you're telling me? Don't give me an excuse. That's a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
When had you called him?
You know, I'm not...
That morning? The evening after? When?
I think it was the next morning.
Where were your children?
My children were at my friend Christine's house. I needed to take them some supplies, and I wasn't allowed to drive.
So you called him and said what?
I asked him if he could take me to take Christine some supplies.
And what did he say?
Yes.
You didn't say to him, I reported you to the police yesterday?
No, he knew. He saw the police. Why he was running.
No, it's not true.
He doesn't know how the police got there, madam. I'm asking you whether you told him that you had called the police the day before.
No, I did not tell him that I called the police the day before.
You just said, do me a favor, pick me up and take me over. How was he supposed to pick you up and take you over to Christine's house?
I asked him to take me in my truck.
You asked him to drive?
Yes.
So it was okay for him to drive without a license when you asked him to, but you were annoyed that he drove without a license the day before.
The day before, I did not feel comfortable being with him.
That's not my question. You told me a moment ago, madam, that the day before you had an argument with him because you didn't want him to drive your car because he didn't have a license. That's what you told me. But the next day, because you needed to use him for something else, you told him to come to your house, pick you up, use your car, and take you to your friend Christine's house.
That is correct. My children needed supplies.
They needed water?
Diapers.
Is she incapable?
She had 5 kids at her house at that time, and she couldn't leave.
License, diapers. License, diapers. You used him. Mr. Harrison, after you went back over there, her car was vandalized again, sir. Were you angry on both of those occasions?
No, I didn't. I wasn't angry. It's just that she was just running her mouth, or she wanted to go in the house, and I didn't want to stay there.
Why don't you work?
I was working for her brother, detailing cars at his car lot, until she came up there, starting trouble, and now I just go from car lot time to time and detail cars.
Is that how you support yourself?
That's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
true.
What does he do?
Actually, he was working for my brother, and he got fired from my brother's car lot because he was being obsessive and controlloving, and my brother didn't want to be a part of it. At this time, he doesn't go from car lot to car
Listen
lot
to me, Miss
detailing. He
That's
frequently
not true.
sells stereos.
Miss Dotson, although it looks to me as if butter would melt in your mouth and that you're a very intelligent woman, you're also a user. You used him like a rubber band. You say, get out, then come back, come to the hospital, I need your support, don't use my truck. Well, today you can't use my truck, tomorrow you can use my truck because I have to go someplace. And what I'm telling you is you can't toy with somebody's emotions like that. That's unacceptable behavior for an adult, madam. If you needed somebody additionally to give you moral support in the hospital and you had already kicked him out of your house, you don't call him again for the day.
Well, Your Honor, my mom is deceased. My best friend was watching my kids. Who else loves me? I know he does.
Just a second. Well, that's using him. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. He loves you, but you don't love him. So if what you're doing is toying with his emotions, because you're saying, I need you.
Your Honor, I do.
Let's just listen. I need you. Now I'm finished with you. I need you again. Now I'm finished with you. That's cruel. And if what you're telling me is he loves you, and you know that, that makes you even the more cruel. You get me? What year is your truck?
My truck is in 1998.
And you have pictures of the damage that he did to your truck?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it, please. And your brother has a body repair shop?
No, actually, my brother has a car lot. He sells
Car
used
lot.
cars.
Does he also repair cars?
No.
No. That's too bad. Well, I get some stuff there to detail it a little bit. And you could probably get that dent pulled out by somebody for a couple of $100. Nowhere near $1,700. You have to learn to be a nicer person, madam.
I understand, Your Honor.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff. Not for $1,700, for $300. Get your car fixed for that. That's all. Step out.
Robert Burrage is suing his ex-fiancée, Carla Jones, for money loaned and forged checks. Carla is countersuing, claiming Robert made false accusations to her probation officer.
Mr. Barge, Miss Jones used to be your living girlfriend,
She was my fiancée.
and according to your complaint, she owes you some money. First for a loan, for insurance, well over a year ago. And then you claim that at some point she forged some checks,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you claim she's got some of your personal property.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jones says none of them were loans. She did, in fact, sign your name to checks. You knew about that. You did not report those forged checks, according to you, when you found out about them. But you continued to live together as a couple. But when you broke up, you, according to you, called her parole officer. You're on parole for something?
I'm off now.
And you called her parole officer to report the forged checks. Is that right?
Yes.
Why'd you do that for?
Because she was forging checks while on parole, and
No,
it
look
was,
at me, look at me.
it was a violation.
Let's get a timeline.
It's a violation.
Mr. Barish, listen to me. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
Excuse me.
According to you, it was in October of 2004 that you found out that she had signed your name to some checks.
Yes.
How much in total were the checks that she signed?
$2,900.
And what were they for?
They were made out to her, signed by her, and cashed by her, and deposited to her account.
Okay. Now, when did you find out about these checks? So was that in October?
It was after she moved out in October.
So after you found out about these forged checks, how long did it take you to call her parole officer?
It took me until March of 2005.
Okay. Let's go. Checks, $2,900 worth.
No, nothing was stolen from him, no forged checks. We would pay our bills together. I would tally up how much utilities were or groceries, and I'd say, I need X amount of dollars. And he'd say, okay, go ahead and get a check, write it for that, deposit it in there, and pay the bills. And I'd
Deposit it where?
Into my checking account. I'd always call him at work, or he would be home when we did it, and he would say, go put that in your checking account and then pay the bills, because I paid everything online.
What do you want parole for? Anything to do with checks?
I'm not on parole. I was on probation.
Probation, anything having to do with checks?
No, it was for a DUI.
Oh. How long were you living together?
About 2.5 years.
Who paid the bills, sir?
The arrangement was that I paid the rent because it was a considerable amount of money, and she picked up the tab for the utilities and the food.
What precipitated your leaving in October of 2004?
Well, the relationship was kind of going sour, and in August of 2004, we had been going to some counseling to see if we could work through some of the issues. And I realized in my heart that it just wasn't going to work out for me, that I wasn't going to be able to go through with the relationship. And of course, he was very upset. And I told him at the end of the lease, which was November 1st of 2004, that I'd be moving out by then and getting my own place.
Robert Burrich says ex-fiancée Carla Jones stole money by forging his check, countersuing, claiming Robert made false accusations to her probation officer.
Okay. When for the first time, Ms. Jones, did the plaintiff confront you about these checks?
Towards the end of the year after I had moved out, we were still talking to each other, and he would come over sometimes on the weekends, and I just felt really sorry for him.
Just tell me what he said to you about the checks.
He called me on the phone close to Christmas. I said I didn't want to see him anymore. I said, I don't want you coming over anymore. I don't want to see you at all. It's done. I don't even want to be friends with you. And that's when he threatened he was going to go to the police station and tell them that I forged these checks while we were together. And I said, you know, that's a lie. How can you go tell a lie like that? And he says, I can say whatever I want. And then in March, I finally just told him, I said, I can't see you anymore. We're kind of seeing each other on and off, on and off. Well, he told me he was going to go to the police and do this. So I guess the next day, which was March 14th.
So the first time he spoke to you about it was in December of 2004.
Threatening to do this.
On what date did you contact her probation officer?
It was the 15th of March.
What happened between December and March, sir?
I was investigating
You already knew about it, and you confronted her with them, and if you had been concerned that she had forged your name to checks and you felt that it was the right thing to do to notify her probation officer, why didn't you do it in December or January or February?
I was hesitant. I wanted the relationship to go on. During the counseling sessions, the counselor asked me if I loved her, and I said yes, and the counselor asked her, did she love me? And she said she didn't know. And the counselor said, did you love him when you took that engagement ring? And she said, I don't know. And I wanted this relationship to last. It was very important to me. She was very important to me. And I figured that the less waves, the better the chances of the relationship working.
But it didn't work, sir.
It didn't, no, it didn't work.
It didn't work. And the response to it not working is not to behave in a retaliatory way.
That's right.
The response to it not working is saying, you went to counseling, she didn't deceive you. She said, we'll go to counseling, we'll see if we can get it to work. And she was being honest. She said, I don't know my feelings. She wasn't trying to be hurtful. If she wanted to be hurtful, she wouldn't have gone to counseling with you.
She deceived me when she accepted the engagement ring.
No, you know, you're talking about there's hard evidence and then there's soft evidence. You know, the divorce rate in this country is 52%. Now, all of those people who divorce, when they sit back, you know, a year later, 6 months later, 5 years later, they say, gee, I wonder if I really loved him. I wonder if I really loved her when I walked down the aisle. You know, or was it something else? It was, you got to get married, or, you know, I fell in love with the beautiful face, or I fell in love with the bank account, whatever it was. Was it really him? I'm really not sure. You know, I really don't know in my heart anymore. That's what people say to themselves.
It was the bank account.
Well, it's all a package. You know, she's an attractive lady, right?
Yes, she is.
She's a very attractive lady, well-spoken. Do you think that if she was an unattractive lady and not well-spoken, you would have been attracted to her? No. You may have gotten to know her better and said, gee, she's got a wonderful soul. But what attracted you to her initially was she's a pretty lady, she seems intelligent, and she's well-spoken, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Part of your package is that you had some dough. That's it. You just have to accept that. And you know, I'm not such a genius that I figured this out myself, because Donald Trump's wife was interviewed recently, and they said to her, would you be married to him if he wasn't Donald Trump, if he wasn't who he is? And she said, you think he'd be married to me if I didn't look like this? Do yourself a big favor. Put a period. It didn't work out. You both gave it your best shot. You should not have called a probation officer. It was a nasty thing to do. And you should not have waited to see the result of this counseling before you decided that what she did was criminal, because then I find your motives suspect.
The reason we actually separated was in August. I told her that her drinking had become a problem, and if she didn't stop drinking, we were not going to renew the lease and live together.
But even after that, you went to counseling with her, because according to you, you loved her.
I did love her.
What I'm telling you is, it didn't work out. That's very sad. Looks like a nice guy. I hope you find another nice one.
She's engaged to another guy already.
Well, then you should look up and say, thank you, God, I didn't make a mistake. Right? Instead of suing her. The case is dismissed, sir. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Mark Horner claims former tenant Jacob Scott damaged his truck tub cover. Jacob is countersuing for the return of his bed and mountain bike.
Mr. Horner, this sort of comes under the category of no good deed goes unpunished.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your wife?
Yes, ma'am.
And?
My daughter-in-law?
You and your wife befriended Mr. Scott. He had been a friend of your son's?
Correct.
And at some point, you allowed him to move into your home?
Yes.
Where's your family?
My parents live in Plainville, Massachusetts. I'm currently residing with them.
Was there any reason why you weren't residing with them when you moved in with the Horners?
When I graduated from high school, I kind of made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to be one of those kids that stays living with their parents, and I had moved out. And my roommate at the time decided he wanted to move back in with his parents, and I still, you know, didn't want to move back in and be one of those kids. And they had offered for me to move in and pay rent, so I had taken them up on the offer, and I was paying $75 a week to live with them.
And you were also doing some work for them?
Yes, ma'am. I was working for Mark as a maintenance worker, and I had also worked during the Patriots games for Mark at one of his sausage stands.
That's your business?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is what the lawsuit is about. At some point, Mr. Scott was driving a truck of yours, and he rear-ended somebody and caused some damage to the front end of your truck.
Yes, ma'am.
You agreed with him that he would either pay the deductible, which was $1,000, or fix the truck.
Yes.
Did you do either of those two things?
No, ma'am. When this originally happened...
No, I'm just answering my question. So the answer is no.
No, ma'am.
And sometime later, you and your wife were going away for a holiday. Mr. Scott was remaining in the house, and according to your complaint, you said to him, no parties.
Correct.
You came back unexpectedly because there was a death in the family, and you found evidence of party.
Looked like he partied like a rock star.
And subsequently, you found the hot tub cover ripped.
Not only ripped, but there was food particles, cigarette butts, beer caps floating in the hot tub.
In the hot tub. Nasty.
Nasty.
And you and Mr. Scott then got into a heated discussion. He left.
Correct.
And when he left his bed and his bicycle, which he wants back, which is the subject of his counterclaim.
Yes, ma'am.
He says that you told him until you sign a promissory note to pay for the damage to the hot tub and the truck, you don't get your stuff back.
Correct.
Mr. Scott says that you told him to forget about the truck.
When the accident had originally occurred, the deductible, I was told the deductible was $500, and we had come to an agreement where I wouldn't have to pay it because the person he was supposedly selling the truck to hadn't paid anything for it, and the truck was 13 years old and had over 200,000 miles on it, and it was only about a softball-sized dent in the front bumper.
I have pictures of the truck.
Okay, so according to you, he said forget about it.
Yes.
And about the damage to the hot tub?
Actually, I have my witness here, Leanne. She's a friend of mine. She was at the house Sunday when they had come home, and she can testify that there was no rip in the hot tub cover Sunday when we were done, and we were not the last people in the hot tub cover. I had come home Tuesday night with a friend of mine, and Susan and Mark's daughter-in-law and her husband, Susan's son Peter, were in the hot tub, and we believe
You mean
that...
with the sausages and the cigarette butts?
No, that stuff had been taken out and cleaned.
Mr. Scott, The Horners allowed you to live with them, and Mr. Horner, is no question, asked you not to, no parties. You violated that trust by having a party.
We had actually, I had only had about 5 friends over.
Throughout the entire time that you were there, Mr. Scott?
No, but I never
Mr.
threw on a
Scott,
party
look,
there,
I
no.
want you to watch. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I've had 20-year-olds, a whole gaggle of them. When 20-year-olds know that there's a free house, it's never just 5 people. Mr. Scott, do you understand? So if you want me
Yes,
to
ma'am.
believe other things that you're telling me, and I'm sure you do, I'm going to ask you again. How many people were at the house
There was only 5 people there.
at one time?
Yes, because I had lived in 2 previous houses before I moved in with Mark and Susan, where I'd paid the mortgage myself, and I had pretty much gotten the partying out of my system. I quit drinking. I don't drink anymore, and it's just, we were hanging out, having a good time, trying to unwind on a weekend.
Well, who do you think it was that was a pig in the group of 5 that you had then, who put food in the hot tub and cigarette butts and cans? Which
It was my
one
buddy
of your
Greg.
5 friends?
It was my buddy Greg. He had admitted to it.
He had admitted to it before they found it?
Well, I had told him that they had found parts of a sausage in the hot tub, and there were beer caps and everything, and he said, oh, the sausage was probably from me, because he was the only one eating in the hot tub.
So I assume that if you had seen him eating in the hot tub, Mr. Sc- we don't do that.
I should have.
Did you see him?
I did, and I didn't say anything to him.
Did you see him smoking in the hot tub?
I did. Everybody was smoking in the hot tub.
And throwing their cigarette butts in the hot tub?
I didn't see anybody throw a cigarette butt in the hot tub. And
Well,
I
did you
didn't,
take out ashtrays for everybody?
There were ashtrays out there.
Did anybody use them? You must have been aware of that unless you had been drinking.
Yes, ma'am, people did use them. The next day, when we were going through the hot tub, we had only found parts of sausages in the filter. I didn't see any cigarette butts in the hot tub at all. And
Well,
I didn't
Mr.
see any
Scott,
beer
let me
caps.
tell you this. When you abuse a privilege, I have to assume that the people who disrespected the Horners' property also ripped their cover.
Okay.
Because otherwise, why would Mr. Horner claim, after being so nice to you, they were nice to you, weren't they?
Well, the whole relationship we had was there was a lot of verbal abuse there. Mark especially was constantly putting me down, calling me, and I'm quoting him here, he was always calling me a dump. Him and his wife were both always calling me a dump. He called me pardon my French, on numerous occasions, and he used to go around bragging to everybody that I was his, because I was helping out around the house and still paying $75 a week. And I had just, at the time, I had just gone with all of this because I didn't want to cause any tension because I was living there under their roof.
Do you have children?
I do.
How many children?
I have 3 children.
How old are they?
My oldest is 23, and then I have
Where is the 23-year-old?
my 23-year-old is in the service. He's stationed at Fort Campbell in Kentucky.
And then you have
I have a 20-year-old.
Where is that child?
He lives with his girlfriend.
Well, that doesn't warm my heart. And what else?
And I have a 16-year-old at home.
And I have a 9-year-old.
Who lives with?
Her mother.
Who you visit
Constantly.
and support.
Yes.
Mr. Scott says that you called him a lot of vile names. Is that true?
I definitely called him a dump.
When did you do that?
He got, I believe it was his 12th or 13th moving violation and lost his driver's license. So we particularly told him that he was a dump for that. He lost.
Just a second.
It was my 8th in 4 years.
Just a second. 8th in 4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
He's right.
Ma'am, that wasn't the only occasion.
Just a
I told you
second. Well, I'm going to get the rest of them. But right now, that would have been worth at least a couple. You know, I could tell that you are presenting yourself as a young man who is totally responsible and thoughtful, and you sound that way.
Thank you.
But I'm looking at these people and I'm saying to myself, this is not a couple that brought you into their home to use as a slave and berate you. So I want to find out if they did, in fact, call you a dump, if they had good reason to do that. 8 moving violations in 4 years fits.
He also had 2 while he was waiting for his suspension to come over.
And so that was worth at
So
least
they took,
2 more.
Yeah, so they took his license away.
Got it?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Let's sort of cut to the chase here because I don't want to torture you any further.
Thank you.
You have to... You're welcome. Because I don't want to hear anything else about you because you wore a tie to court and speak well, and I'm sure you're going to try to put your life together. This is your...
This is my friend Leanne.
Not a girlfriend?
No.
You weren't eating sausages in the hot tub, Leanne. You have to give him back his bed and his bike. He's going to pick it up within 5 days.
Thank you.
I'd like to see the pictures of the truck.
Ma'am?
What?
The one thing I'm concerned about with the bed is there was an incident back when Mark's father died. He was having some trouble with his brother, and he had actually taken pictures of him urinating on his brother's bed. And I'm just worried that they had done something to my bed while it was in their position.
I'm not going to dignify that question with an answer. Do you want your bed back or not?
Yes, ma'am.
I have pictures of the bed, Your Honor, if you want to see them.
No, I don't have to see pictures of the bed. I'm looking at the front end of this truck. It looks like a little dent, sir. Does it interfere with its driving?
It does not interfere with its driving. There's a tow hook that was smashed off the bottom of it. The grill is cracked. I have an estimate here from the body shop.
Let me see the estimate. Okay. How much is a new hot tub cover, or how do you fix that?
It wasn't, it had to be replaced. Here's the
Okay.
receipt. It was
How much was it?
It was $398 plus tax.
He's responsible for the tax. How much was the tax?
$420.
You living back with your folks, Mr. Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to do with yourself?
Actually, in October, I'm going to be moving down to St. Petersburg, Florida.
To do what?
For a change, I'm going to become a construction worker down there. That's what I do up here, but just to get away from New England and a new scenery.
Where it's
really.
warm.
Exactly.
Who do you know in St. Petersburg?
A friend of mine lives down there, so a close friend of mine. I grew up with her, so she's got an apartment down there. She's going to school down there, and
You might want to try that, Mr. Scott. School is not terrible.
I was thinking about it, but I work 7 days a week now. I love to work. Both my jobs, I landscape on the weekends, and I'm a construction worker on the weekdays.
You have your driver's license back?
No, ma'am, I do not. I actually get it back in 21 days.
Try to hold on to it this time, please.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Scott. Get your bed back and your bike in 5 days. Judgment for the plaintiff on you claim $1,420. Thank you. Good luck.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Alice Ramos is suing neighbor D'Angelo Trent for damages to her car. Alice says D'Angelo's son, 9-year-old D'Angelo Jr., crashed into her vehicle with his bike.
Mrs. Ramos, it is your complaint that this little boy right over here was on his bicycle, fell off of his bicycle, and scratched your car. You want his father to pay for the scratch on the car. Is that right? And Mr. Trent's. When did this happen?
June 19th of 2004.
Were you at home at the time?
Yes, it was a Saturday. We had had a yard sale at my residence, and this child here had been riding his bicycle the better part of the day, up and down.
What's your name?
D'Angelo Trent Jr.
D'Angelo.
Yes.
Did you know him before?
I've seen him
June
in
19th?
the neighborhood, but I didn't know whose child he was.
But you had seen him before?
Oh, yes.
For how long?
He's lived in our neighborhood as long as I can recall.
So you know him. This isn't
Right.
a child who you hadn't seen 100 times before.
Oh, definitely.
Alice Ramos says neighbor 9-year-old D'Angelo Trent Jr. damaged her car when he crashed his bicycle. D'Angelo's father, D'Angelo Sr., claims his son doesn't own a bike.
So what did you see when he fell off the bike?
He bumped into the bumper of my car, and he fell off his bicycle. At that point, I was not concerned about my car. Myself, my nephew Andrew, and my niece all ran out to the street to see if he was okay. He seemed okay, but he fell awfully hard for how quickly he jumped back up.
And subsequently you found a scratch on your car?
When we first checked, we saw what looked like rubber scraping on the bumper of the car. And I told the little boy, before he took off, I told him, that's okay, this can be buffed out, you can go. So he jumped on his bike and he took off, more scared than hurt, I think. And 10 minutes later, he comes back with another young man on the handlebars. And he and his friend got off, and he started to show the friend what he had done. Well, unbeknownst to us, we were more concerned in the beginning about his welfare. We didn't really inspect the car. I saw the rubber scrapes on the bumper. But he's showing him another area of the car which we had not seen. And there is a scrape on the trunk.
You have a picture of it?
No, I don't.
Why don't you have a picture of it?
As I go on to the story, you'll see why.
Okay.
There was a good gash to where the whole paint and primer, everything came off right down to the metal. And it was right at the height about where the handlebars are.
So what did you do next?
I said, did you do this with your bike? And he said, he nodded his head yes. I said, well, then you can't leave. I need to talk to you. He looked at me wide-eyed, scared, started to cry, jumped back on his bike, and took off, and left his little friend there. I asked his friend, do you know who this little boy is? I've seen him in the neighborhood many times, but I don't know who he is. And he says, yes, that's D'Angelo's son. And I said, D'Angelo, I know D'Angelo. I've known D'Angelo, the father, since he was knee-high to a grasshopper, since he grew up in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, can you take me to his house? So he walked.
Okay, so let's move on a little bit. Ms. Ramos, did Mr. D'Angelo say that he would take care of the problem?
Absolutely.
And that's why you had it fixed and you didn't take a picture? I'm just running ahead because that sounds like what you're going to tell me.
Yeah, I didn't take a picture because I had to call the police because we could not locate him, the father.
Why?
Because there was no one at the house. The house was all opened up, windows, doors, everything was opened up at the house. There was nobody there.
Okay, so when the police came, he said he would fix...
He told the police officers he would take care of it between me and him.
Okay, stop. And you had it fixed. How much did it cost you to have it fixed?
$300.
You have a receipt?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please. You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
He was there.
He was there.
How long have you known Mrs. Ramos?
22 years.
She a nice lady?
Nice lady.
Seems like a lovely lady.
Yeah.
Seems like a caring lady. Is concerned about your son?
Right.
More concerned about your son than her car?
Right.
Why don't you pay her the $300?
Because my son doesn't own a bike. He was on the peg.
He was riding a bike that day. Now, Mr. Trent, you seem like an intelligent man, sir.
I am.
If you had to make a choice as to whether Mrs. Ramos or your 9-year-old son was telling you the truth, who would you pick? Who would you pick, sir? I haven't even spoken to him. I know who I would pick.
I know the child that was riding the bike, and I know he's nowhere in court.
Listen to
I don't
me,
know why my
sir.
son's here.
You weren't there. Mrs. Ramos, who you've known for 22 years,
Right.
says that your son was the one who was riding the bike. You weren't home. So I'm going to go back to my original question. If you had to make a choice as to whether your 9-year-old son, D'Angelo, was telling the truth or Mrs. Ramos was telling the truth, who would you pick?
I would pick my son, of course.
Well, then you would pick wrong. Your son, and you weren't there, was riding the bike. Look at me, D'Angelo. Isn't that right?
No.
Baloney.
Judge, when you ask her if there were 2 people there, there was a person riding and he was on the pegs.
No.
Please ask her.
She said he was riding the bike. Is that what you told me?
That's right.
Was there 2 children there?
No. When the incident happened, there was only one child on the bike.
When he
D'Angelo
came
Jr.
back, she said there were 2 people. He was riding, and there was another child on the handlebars. And then when she went out there and confronted them, he got scared and left the other kid there. And if he's not telling you that story,
The other child
I
told me
take
the
him out to
story.
the barn. Judgment to the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Daryl Myricks claims his former classmate, Winter Goodwin, punched out his car window. Winter claims Daryl's brother pushed her into the car. She is countersuing for medical bills.
What's your first name?
Daryl.
It's your mother?
Yeah.
Miss Myricks, you weren't there the date of this incident, but you're involved because the car that was allegedly damaged by Winter
Yes.
was owned by you.
Yes.
So why don't you have a seat? If we need anything, I'll call you.
Okay.
And Miss Goodwin,
Yes.
this is your daughter Winter.
Yes.
And you weren't there the date of this incident, where your daughter says that this whole incident was provoked by Daryl and his brother. And
Yes.
you're counterclaiming because she was injured, had to go to the hospital with glass in her hand.
Yes.
So why don't you sit down? How old are you, Daryl?
17.
17.
And you have a long history of not liking each other. Is that right?
Yes.
Why don't you like each other?
Your Honor, she really doesn't like me. I have no problem with Winter.
What don't you like about him?
No, he don't like me. He never liked me since September.
What made you think he didn't like you, Winter?
Because Ivic Nuttall is my friend.
Ivic
Yes.
is your friend.
And he came to me in school saying what he was going to do to him, and I told them to keep me up out of it. And so that's how I got involved, because of his brother.
Oy. All right. Now, I want you to tell me, Daryl, what happened on April 9th?
Okay, Your Honor. Friday, me and my friend Katrina, who lives out there, we had made plans to go to the bowling alley on Saturday, and we were on our way to pick him up. As I was entering the entrance to my friend Katrina's house, Winter, along with Ivic and others, were blocking the entrance.
Had you spoken to any of these people that day?
No. And I rolled down my window politely, and I said, Winter, could you please move off the street?
Politely?
Yes, politely, because that's what type of person I am. I'm a polite person. And she started cursing me out like, MF, you have no business being out here. You don't live out here, so you can move out your car and move out my way. Well, by this time, her, Ivic, and the rest with his sister surrounded my car.
Is that you? You're the sister?
I'm Winter's sister.
You're Winter's sister.
And they all surrounded my car, and so therefore I couldn't move nowhere. Winter came up to my car, and she took her fist and busted out my back window, but they still wouldn't let me move out the way. So then she had run away, and she came back with a bat and busted out my driver window. Once she busted out the driver's side window, she put her arm in the car, unlocked the door, and pulled me out along with her friends, and they started beating me up.
You have a police report?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Pictures.
Okay. Now I'll hear you, Miss Goodwin.
All right. On April 9th, Daryl and his friend Brente called us and told us to meet them up at the bowling alley. So about 6 to 8 o'clock, they kept playing on the phone.
Who were they calling?
They was calling me and my friend Isaac, my witness Isaac.
Okay.
We went to my house at 8 o'clock to ask my mom could we go to a party on Hobart Street. She said yeah if we took my little sister Raven. So then we walked back to Ivic's house. They was parked in the front. They came out. Then Daryl rushed Ivic. So then after that, his brother Roy hit me on the side of my face. Then that's when I turned around and hit him. And then after that, we got to fighting. He pushed me into the window. I was forced into that window.
Just a second.
So then that's how my hand got injured.
That's not what the witness says.
Okay.
The police report from a witness who was at the scene, that was one of your friends that the police officer spoke to, says the female, that's you, took the bat from the male. The female then tried to punch the male, but hit the driver passenger window and shattered the window.
That's not what happened, Your Honor. We never talked to the police until he got to the hospital.
Not you. I'm not talking about you.
Me or my witness.
Well, there were a lot of
we
people
never
out
talked
there.
to the police, Your Honor.
So the police is lying?
Yes, he is.
You're the brother?
No.
Friend?
Yes, ma'am.
Name?
Jerry Ashley.
Were you in the car?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing there, Jerry?
We was going out there to get a friend to go to the bowling alley.
But you had already gotten him, because he was in the car, according to this police report. There were 3 of you in the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Where does he live? Give me the address.
I don't know the address, but he lived in the front of Mary Hill Apartments.
And where did he meet you?
He met us right there. When you come inside Mary Hill, or the entrance, he met us right there.
So then you were leaving, because he was in the car already.
No, ma'am.
Why weren't you leaving?
Because they had blocked the car.
Who blocked the car, Jerry?
Winter, Ivic, and some of her friends, his brothers, his sisters, they all blocked the car. Even the little girl blocked the car.
She's not so little.
Well, you know.
I'll get you in a minute. How old are you?
18, Your Honor.
Okay, Ivic. Up.
Yep.
How old are you, Ivic?
15.
What's the problem that you have with these guys?
Nah. Every time we was in school, he said, like, find me, it's like I'm Michael Jackson, so he'll whoop me, stuff like that.
What?
He said, find me like he find Michael Jackson. Like, I'm gonna be Michael Jackson, so he can whoop me and stuff like that.
Do you understand this? Are you following this?
Not at all.
No, I thought maybe I was missing something. So now I want you to tell me, Ivic, what happened on April 9th.
From 6 o'clock to 8, Brent.
No, I want you, don't look at the heavens. God is not going to help you with this,
Nah.
Ivic. Only the truth will set you free. So you look at my eyes.
6 through 8 o'clock, Brente and Daryl, they was calling my phone telling me to come to the bowling alley. But I was like, nah. So then after a while, they start driving past
The Maryville Apartments telling Winter and that he wanted to fight me and stuff like that. And they was 3 cars deep. But first, B, Winter, and Raven went to her mama's house to ask her, could we go to a party? And she said yes. So when I was...
So first this car is driving by, and Winter, who is afraid, right, goes in to ask her mother if she can go to a party.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. So that they're driving by with their friends. And that's very intimidating, right? They're looking to fight you.
Yeah.
Step up. You're her mother?
Yes.
Do you remember your daughter coming inside and asking if she can go to a party?
Yes.
What did she say to you?
She asked me could her and Raven go to a party, and I gave her permission. The only way that she can go to that party was to take Raven.
She didn't say to you there are guys outside that are looking for trouble, looking to beat up Ivik?
No, she did not.
Shh. Put your hand down. She didn't say that to you. She didn't say, Mom, I'm afraid because there are people out there are cars out there going back and forth. She didn't say that to you.
No.
Now, she was safe inside her house, correct?
Yeah.
If you would have known that there were cars outside waiting to beat up Ivik and maybe her, you wouldn't have let her go out again, would you?
No, I wouldn't have.
Good. Have a seat. Winter.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is what you swore to. On April 9th at around 6 o'clock, Daryl's friend, not Daryl, Daryl's friend called me and told Ivik and me to come to the neighborhood bowling alley because Daryl wanted to fight Ivik. That's what you wrote. I told his friend that Daryl knew where we were if he wanted to fight. For the next 2 hours, Daryl and a car of 5 of his friends circled the streets of my neighborhood. They were screaming obscenities and trying to instigate a fight. Ivik and I ignored them. Around 8 o'clock, I went across the street to talk to my mom. When I crossed the street back to Ivik's house, Daryl was parked on the street with 2 carloads of his friends. They were just sitting there stalking Ivik's house. I went inside and got Ivik with the intention of ignoring Daryl and his friends and going to a party. That's what you wrote.
I know what I wrote.
But that's not what you're telling me.
That is what I'm telling you. You didn't even let me finish my story.
I'll let you finish your story. I'm at your mother's house where you went inside to ask her if you could go to a party, despite the fact that a couple of hours before, a guy had said he's coming over to the house. He was going to fight you because you invited him over. He said, you want to fight? You know where we are. Come on over. And you say for the next 2 hours, the cars went back and forth stalking Ivik's house. Then you went inside and asked your mother if you could go to a party. Nowhere did you tell your mother that there was a problem. And I find that hard to understand, Winter.
Well, I ain't tell her what happened because they weren't even supposed to be out there. We was about to get in the car and leave. So then I tried to go in his house to get his mom. His brother Roy hit me on the side of my face. I hit him back. We got to fighting. He pushed me into his mom's window, and then that's when I lost my balance. And then that's how the window got broke.
Are you finished now?
Yeah.
Good. Did you see how the back window got broken?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did the back window get broken?
By Winter hand.
And how did the side window get broken?
By the bat that Winter had, Your Honor.
Where did the bat come from?
After they did all that, she fled away from the accident and then came back with the bat.
Did you ever have the bat in your car?
No, Your Honor.
Did you ever have the bat in your car?
No, Your Honor.
I believe you. Sit down. Can I have the estimate, please, for the damage to the car? Put your hand down, Ivik. Did you have it fixed?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you step up, please? Would you tell me how much it cost you to fix both windows?
It came out to about $170.
You have bills here for $870.
That's the estimate.
But it actually cost you less.
Yes.
You can sit down. Stay there with your son. This young man did not hurt your hand. You hurt your own hand.
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
Sure you did.
His brother pushed me.
You have no lawsuit against his brother here today. You're suing him for your medical bills. And that's not what your friends say happened to your hand. What your friends say happened to your hand is you went to punch somebody, they probably moved out of the way, and you punched the car window instead. That's what your friends say happened. So your counterclaim's dismissed. You owe him $170 to fix the window. I believe him. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
19-year-old Chris Alford is suing his ex-girlfriend, 19-year-old Ashley Griffin, for a loan to pay her rent. Ashley says Chris gave her the money.
Mr. Alford, the defendant used to be your girlfriend. According to your complaint, you are no longer involved in a relationship, but at some point prior to your breaking up, you loaned her $300. You want that money back.
Yes. This was after we broke up. Like, we broke up, then she called me.
So you lent her the money after you were no longer together?
Yes.
When did you lend her the money, sir?
I sent it the 1st of July.
Tell me about that.
All right, we broke up, whatever, when she came up.
She came up where?
To Philly. We was no longer seeing each other.
You live in Philadelphia?
Yes.
You live where?
Florida.
And when did she come to Philadelphia?
Like the beginning of June.
Who did she stay with?
Her mom, I guess.
Your mom lives in Philadelphia?
Outside of Philadelphia.
Stop moving up and down. When she came up to Philadelphia to visit her mother, and you, I assume.
I saw her a couple hours.
That's not
Were
true,
you still
Your Honor.
dating?
Then, yeah.
What caused you to stop seeing each other in a romantic way?
Chris Alford says ex-girlfriend Ashley Griffin owes for a loan to pay her rent. Chris also says Ashley is a two-timer.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, she missed her flight, right? In the morning time, she missed her flight.
She missed her flight going back to Florida?
Yes.
When was that?
I don't know the exact date.
It was sometime in July.
He said you went up in June.
No, it was like the middle of July sometime.
Did you miss your flight going home?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were in Philadelphia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What happened when she missed her flight, sir?
She missed her flight, and she called some guy and was like, I missed my flight. It cost $50 or something to pay the balance or something. And I was like, who's that on the phone? And I turned around, whatever, because I was half asleep when all this happened. She hit me, whatever, like, oh, I missed my flight. Da-da-da-da.
So what you're saying is she was sleeping over at your house?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, then you were with her more than just a couple of hours during this visit to Philadelphia.
Okay.
All right, so you decided you didn't want to see her anymore because she was talking to somebody else and borrowed $50 from somebody else. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Mr. Alford? Could we get to it, please?
All right.
Is that what happened?
Other stuff, too, but that's what started it all.
And then this other young man sent you money or called up and said, add the ticket on his credit card, and you went home.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why you needed this $300, Miss Griffin.
Can I start from the beginning?
No.
Well, because I was going back home in July. So I had already bought my ticket, and I was short for my rent. So I asked him for the money. I didn't say, can I borrow it? I asked him, can I have it? And he said, yeah. And he gave me the money.
So you needed the $300 for rent because you had spent the money.
But I was off, and we spent more than just that night together. He picked me up from the airport, and I was with him that day, and we went to go pick up his witness.
Tell me about when you called him and asked him for the money.
Well, I called him, and I pretty much said I needed the money for the rent because I was short.
Where were you when he gave you the money?
I was at my house.
In Florida?
Yes, ma'am. He Western Union me the money.
You have the receipt for Western Union?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? Mr. Alford, I'd like you to tell me about the conversation that you had with her about the $300, please.
All right, I'm in the car, me and 3 friends of mine, and my phone rings. And I put it on speaker because I couldn't drive and talk. So I'm talking to her, and she's like, oh, my God, I don't have enough money to pay for my rent, this, and that. And I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, like, what am I supposed to do about that? Then she said, would it be possible if you could send me $300 and I will pay you back next Friday on my paycheck? Everybody in the car heard her say that.
Don't say what they heard. Did you hear it?
I heard it clearly. It's right here. The phone's right here. I was listening, talking like, all right, well, I can't spare it. I mean, so you got to send it back next Friday. And you can see on that on Western Union, date was July 1st. If she just now said she was in Philly.
You're absolutely right, sir. It was July 1st.
I said he sent me the money July 1st. I said I went home after July 1st.
Are you telling me you went home and then continued your relationship with him after he sent you the money?
Yes, we were still together, so I don't know why he's saying we weren't. We were together at that time. Why would I stay at his house? Why would he pick me up from the airport if we weren't together?
He says it was in June.
It was in June. That's why you was at my house. It was in June, man.
Oh, you must have your airline ticket.
I don't have it.
Who was this other person that you called for $50?
All right, when he came down, he knew about the guy already.
Don't tell me what he knew. I didn't ask you for a whole story. I said, who was this other person?
It was some other guy that I was messing with.
So now what you want me to believe is he sent you $300 to help you cover your rent. Then you went up to Philadelphia to see him. But at the time that he sent you the $300 for the rent, you were messing around with somebody else that he didn't know about. Is that right?
No, he knew about him. We were only like
friends.
No, we weren't friends. We were more than friends, but at that time, I knew I could depend on him.
You have to learn that you have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to stop relying on people, and you have to stop using people. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
19-year-old Chris Alford is suing his ex-girlfriend, 19-year-old Ashley Griffin, for a loan to pay her rent. Ashley says Chris gave her the money.
Mr. Alford, the defendant used to be your girlfriend. According to your complaint, you are no longer involved in a relationship, but at some point prior to your breaking up, you loaned her $300. You want that money back?
Yes. This was after we broke up. Like, we broke up, then she called me.
So you lent her the money after you were no longer together?
Yes.
When did you lend her the money, sir?
I sent it the 1st of July.
Tell me about that.
All right, we broke up, whatever, when she came up.
She came up where?
To Philly. We was no longer seeing each other.
You live in Philadelphia?
Yes.
You live where?
Florida.
And when did she come to Philadelphia?
Like the beginning of June.
Who did she stay with?
Her mom, I guess.
Your mom lives in Philadelphia?
Outside of Philadelphia.
Stop moving up and down. When she came up to Philadelphia to visit her mother, and you, I assume.
I saw her a couple hours.
That's not
true,
true,
Were you
Your
still
Honor.
dating?
Then, yeah.
What caused you to stop seeing each other in a romantic way?
Chris Alford says ex-girlfriend Ashley Griffin owes for a loan to pay her rent. Chris also says Ashley is a two-timer.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, she missed her flight, right? In the morning time, she missed her flight.
She missed her flight going back to Florida?
Yes.
When was that?
I don't know the exact date.
It was sometime in July.
He said you went up in June.
No, it was like the middle of July sometime.
Did you miss your flight going home?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were in Philadelphia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What happened when she missed her flight, sir?
She missed her flight, and she called some guy and was like, I missed my flight. It cost $50 or something to pay the balance or something. And I was like, who's that on the phone? And I turned around, whatever, because I was half asleep when all this happened. She hit me, whatever, like, oh, I missed my flight. Da-da-da-da.
So what you're saying is she was sleeping over at your house?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, then you were with her more than just a couple of hours during this visit to Philadelphia.
Okay.
All right, so you decided you didn't want to see her anymore because she was talking to somebody else and borrowed $50 from somebody else. Is that what you're trying to tell me, Mr. Alford? Could we get to it, please?
All right.
Is that what happened?
Other stuff, too, but that's what started it all.
And then this other young man sent you money or called up and said, add the ticket on his credit card, and you went home.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me why you needed this $300, Miss Griffin.
Can I start from the beginning?
No.
Well, because I was going back home in July. So I had already bought my ticket, and I was short for my rent. So I asked him for the money. I didn't say, can I borrow it? I asked him, can I have it? And he said, yeah. And he gave me the money.
So you needed the $300 for rent because you had spent the money.
But I was off, and we spent more than just that night together. He picked me up from the airport, and I was with him that day, and we went to go pick up his witness.
Tell me about when you called him and asked him for the money.
Well, I called him, and I pretty much said I needed the money for the rent because I was short.
Where were you when he gave you the money?
I was at my house.
In Florida?
Yes, ma'am. He Western Union me the money.
You have the receipt for Western Union?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? Mr. Alford, I'd like you to tell me about the conversation that you had with her about the $300, please.
All right, I'm in the car, me and 3 friends of mine, and my phone rings. And I put it on speaker because I couldn't drive and talk. So I'm talking to her, and she's like, oh, my God, I don't have enough money to pay for my rent, this, and that. And I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, like, what am I supposed to do about that? Then she said, would it be possible if you could send me $300 and I will pay you back next Friday on my paycheck? Everybody in the car heard her say that.
Don't say what they heard. Did you hear it?
I heard it clearly. It's right here. The phone's right here. I was listening, talking like, all right, well, I can't spare it. I mean, so you got to send it back next Friday. And you can see on Western Union, date was July 1st. If she just now said she was in Philly.
You're absolutely right, sir. It was July 1st.
I said he sent me the money July 1st. I said I went home after July 1st.
Are you telling me you went home and then continued your relationship with him after he sent you the money?
Yes, we were still together, so I don't know why he's saying we weren't. We were together at that time. Why would I stay at his house? Why would he pick me up from the airport if we weren't together?
He says it was in June.
It was in June. That's why you was at my house. It was in June, man.
Well, you must have your airline ticket.
I don't have it.
Who was this other person that you called for $50?
All right, when he came down, he knew about the guy already.
Don't tell me what he knew. I didn't ask you for a whole story. I said, who is this other person?
It was some other guy that I was messing with.
So now what you want me to believe is he sent you $300 to help you cover your rent. Then you went up to Philadelphia to see him. But at the time that he sent you the $300 for the rent, you were messing around with somebody else that he didn't know about. Is that right?
No, he knew about him. We were only like
friends.
No, we weren't friends. We were more than friends. But at that time, I knew I could depend on him.
You have to learn that you have to stand on your own 2 feet. You have to stop relying on people, and you have to stop using people. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Lori Abarca says former client Matthew Finch pulled his kids out of her daycare without notice. Matthew is countersuing, claiming Lori made a false CPS report.
Mrs. Abarca, this is a pretty nasty case. According to your complaint, the defendant is the former husband of your best friend.
Yes.
What's your former wife's name?
Stacy.
Stacy. And they have 2 children. And you were providing daycare in your home for their 2 children.
Correct.
And subsequent to their separation, you took care of the children for how long?
Approximately 9 months, from August of 2004 until April 1st of 2005.
And then it is your claim that Mr. Finch, without cause, removed the children from your daycare. He did, in fact, give you 2 weeks' notice and paid you, according to what I've read here, for the 2 weeks' notice.
Yes.
That's correct.
But your claim is that Mr. Finch knew that he had an obligation to keep the children there, so you want him to pay for daycare for how long?
I just want him to pay for daycare up until the date that their mother gave me the 2 weeks' notice, because she was the only one that was able to make the daycare decision per their court order.
Just shh. Don't.
Okay.
On what date did she give you the 2 weeks' notice?
I believe it was May 12th.
Okay. So let's deal with that part of the complaint first.
Okay.
You'll get into the incident because there's much more to this case than these few weeks. When Mr. Finch gave you the 2 weeks' notice on April 1st and tendered payment for those 2 weeks, did you take his payment?
Yes.
So then let us deal with this issue swiftly.
Okay.
You're entitled to nothing. If you said to Mr. Finch, I'm not taking your money, it is my friend who is responsible for giving me the 2 weeks' notice, not you, I would go on with that part of your lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
But since you took his money, I'm not entertaining any money for April or 2 weeks in May. Now let's move on to the next part of your claim. The next part of your claim is that there was an incident on or about April 1st involving your husband and the defendant. And as a result of that, Mr. Finch called the state licensing board and made false allegations against you. Mr. Finch said what he reported to the state licensing board was true, correct?
That's correct.
The counterclaim that I have by Mr. Finch is that you called Child Protective Services complaining about Mr. Finch and alleging that he in some way inappropriately touched one or both of his children. That's the allegation.
Right.
So, did you in fact call Child Protective Services?
I did.
On what date?
April 4th.
And what did you tell them in this 4-4 report?
I told them that his oldest daughter, Kiana, for the last month and a half had been reacting extremely badly when he would come to pick her up. She would start crying hysterically. She would run to the background, anybody, my children, my husband, myself, that she could get to.
Is that what you told the state so far?
Yes.
What else did you tell them?
And I told them that I felt that there was something going on at the house. I didn't know what, but I know that somebody needed to investigate it. When I did make that phone call, Stacy was right beside me, in full agreement with me calling, because for several weeks before...
Don't tell me about Stacy.
Okay. For several weeks before, I had spoken to Stacy and Matt about Kiana's behavior. It would be so bad at times that he would come to pick up both of the girls and have to leave with just Lexi, the little one, and leave Kiana at my home until her mother or her stepfather could come and pick her up because she wouldn't go with him.
Doesn't. Shh. Okay.
So I confronted Stacy about what was going on and told her that I was very uncomfortable with the way that Kiana was reacting and that I was very concerned that something was happening over at his house.
No, she doesn't include that.
This revelation, Ms. Abarca, that you had to call and make a substantive report to Child Protective Services did not occur until after Mr. Finch removed the children from your daycare. Is that correct?
Yes and no.
Yeah. The first time that you called and made a substantive report, despite what you say you had been seeing for the last month and a half, is 3 days after he removed the children from your daycare.
Yes.
There's certain hard data, and then there's certain soft data. Your conversations with your friend Stacy is soft data. The timing of these events is hard data, which in my view very often suggests that you can make a leap with regard to things like motive. You get me?
Yes.
Good. Now, did you subsequently go to the family court with regard to her allegations of abuse?
Yes, I did.
And was there a hearing?
There was a hearing.
And subsequent to the hearing, was your time with your children diminished, supervised, increased?
Stayed the same. We were sent to family court counseling after that.
Who was?
Me and my ex-wife.
Just the two of you?
Correct.
And did you both go to counseling?
I requested private mediation. I figured 1 hour with the family court services was not efficient time to handle this situation, and therefore I was granted time to get a private mediation.
And as a result of the mediation, what happened?
My time was increased.
To what?
To 50%.
It had been previous to that, how much?
It was only 37% time.
Subsequent to the call to Child Protective Services, was your daughter subjected to a physical examination?
Yes, both daughters were. And I do have the report here.
Can I see it,
Would you like to
please?
see it? For both daughters.
Their mother requested it when she took them for those exams. It wasn't
CPS
court ordered.
requested
It wasn't court ordered or anything through CPS. Stacy called and made those appointments.
Listen to me, madam. What you're giving me is hearsay. The objective data is you made a report. As a result of that report and subsequent to that report, these children were subjected to physical examinations. That was precipitated by your call. And if their mother had seen signs that she felt were untoward, she could have taken the children without your call to Child Protective Services. Your call to Child Protective Services inspired this action. Now I want to know what happened April 1st.
Okay. April 1st, Matt calls me probably around 5 o'clock, letting me know that he's on his way to pick up the girls.
And how many days a week had he picked up the children?
He picked them up at least 85% of the 9 months that they were with me, because their mother would work nights and evenings and stuff like that.
How old are your children?
They're 6 and 8 now.
So now he came to pick up the children on April 1st.
He had called me and let me know he was coming to get them. And
As I do every day.
Listen, if you interrupt again, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So far, you don't feel as if I'm favoring her, do you?
Not at all.
Then keep your mouth shut until I look at you and ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Go.
His phone call was that he wanted to change his payment dates on the way over. I said, no, we're not going to change them. They're in a contract. You've signed it. This is the way that it's been for 9 months. And he got very angry.
No, just a second. No. Did he tell you why he wanted to change his payment dates?
No, he didn't.
Okay. And you said, no, you can't.
Right.
If your friend Stacy had called and said, I would like to change the payment date, what would you have answered her?
I would have talked to her about it.
Right.
Which is what I tried to do with Matt.
No, that's not what you said. You said absolutely not.
Okay.
That's what you just told me.
Well,
I'm just repeating your words.
Well, no, actually, he called me and told me he wanted to change the payment dates.
And you just told me you said absolutely not. You have a contract.
And I said to him, well, your payment's due today. And he then told me that he wasn't going to pay me when he came to pick up the girls and got angry and started yelling at me. And I said to him, you know what, Matt, you have a contract with me. These are the same dates you've always made payment.
Continue.
Don't speak to her! And it's not your job to tell her to continue. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You keep saying, yes, ma'am. Is there something wrong with you? Do you have problem controlling yourself?
Not at all.
Well, it seems to me you do. Go ahead.
He got very hostile with me on the phone, yelling and screaming.
No,
so
you
I
were
said,
hostile.
Well, no.
You were hostile.
It was a reaction to him.
You know what the big mistake was?
What's that?
The big mistake was choosing you as a daycare provider. When you have a best friend who is divorcing her husband, and there are bad feelings that exist between the two people, to have someone as a child care provider who is aligned with one of the parents is a monumental mistake. Monumental. Because you are emotionally invested in his ex-wife and her welfare, not emotionally invested in his welfare, and that comes through loud and clear. Having said that, we will move on. So he came to pick up the children, and what happened, Ms. Abarco, when he came to pick up the children?
When he came to pick up the kids, my husband went outside to go talk to him because we'd had many, many incidences with his youngest daughter, Lexi, being physically abusive to our son, and it was just...
This is the husband?
This is my husband.
What was he doing home?
He was already done working for the day.
What kind of work does he do?
He's a forklift mechanic for Toyota.
Let me understand this, Ms. Abarca. You sent him outside.
No.
You said you were inside with the girls, so your husband went outside to speak to him.
Right.
Well, you must have, when you got off the phone, said to your husband, he's coming over and he says he's not going to pay me. Got to discuss that with him. And you have to discuss with him his daughter's aggressive behavior, right?
Yes, I spoke to him about the phone call with Matt and about the incident we had just had with Lexi and Cole on Matt's way over to come and pick up the girls.
Well, why don't you tell me about the incident between your son, who was how old?
At that time, he was 18 months old.
And the daughter, who was how old?
Lexi was 5.5.
So why don't you tell me about that incident?
I believe on that day, she pushed him down. She would pull his hair and pull him down. You know, just different little things like that that were constant. And I sat down with Lexi, and I said, you know, Lexi, we've been having a lot of problems with this kind of behavior. What is wrong? Why is it that you and Cole can't seem to get along? What can we do to change it? And she says to me that her father told her that if there's something she wants or Cole does something that she doesn't like, then she can basically take matters into her own hand. If she needs to push him away from her or do something like that, that's what he told her. The 8-year-old daughter, Kiana, was there as well. Kiana confirmed that was the discussion that they had in their vehicle and also stated that there was a boy she was having problems with at school, and Matt told her that if he continued to bother her, she could go ahead and punch him.
Where were you when this was going on with the 5-year-old and your 18-month-old?
I was in my dining room.
And where were they?
They were in my living room, which there's a huge opening.
Shh. That's not supposed to happen. It's your responsibility if the 5-year-old pushes down the 18-month-old. It's your responsibility because you are providing inadequate supervision of the children.
Agree.
I don't care whether you agree or not.
Children are children.
That's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And a 5-year-old may push down an 18-month-old, and an 18-month-old may pull a 5-year-old's hair.
Right.
Or may take something away, and the 5-year-old says you can't do that.
Absolutely.
You just answered your own question.
Lori Abarca claims former client Matthew Finch owes for daycare fees, defamation of character, and a false police report.
Stand up. All right. Mr. Abarca, you tell me what you said to Mr. Finch when you went outside.
I walked up to Mr.
Look
Finch.
at me. You walked up to Mr. Finch and said...
He was still in his vehicle. I explained to him...
No, tell me what you said.
I said, Matt, there was a situation with the 2 kids. Lexi approached Cole, grabbed the ball from him, pushed it back into his chest, and then grabbed him by his hair and pulled him to the ground. When Lori confronted Lexi about it, Lexi explained that if she felt somebody was picking on her, it would be all right for her to go ahead and do something back, retaliate.
Okay, so your wife said to you that the little girl said, my daddy says if somebody is picking on me, then I have the right to do something back to them. Correct?
Correct.
And what did Mr. Finch say to you?
He got out of his car, said he never said that, got into my face. I explained to him, would you please not allow Lexi to retaliate, that if she has a problem, she needs to go to Lori. I don't appreciate our baby being pulled down to the ground by his hair, and that conduct is not okay.
Mrs. Abarca, I have 11 grandchildren. I've seen them all playing around together.
Right.
If one of them, who's 5, gets annoyed at one of them who's 2 because they pulled something out of their hand, they'll push them. That's not cause for World War III.
No, you're right.
That just
I agree.
happens.
I agree, but it was much more severe than that. And I have statements that I've written to Matt for suspensions, breaking down the situations. I believe I gave you copies of all of those.
Why did you give them to Matt instead of Stacy?
Because Matt was the one that came and picked up the children most of all the time.
Miss Abarca, this was your best friend's children.
Right.
Are you telling me that you didn't get on the phone in the evening after each of these instances and say to Stacy, listen, Stacy, we really have to talk about the girls.
Absolutely.
I'm having trouble with the girls.
Yes.
And what did Stacy tell you?
That she was in full agreement with everything I had. They knew Lexi was having aggression problems. She was getting in trouble at school almost, and they knew that it was something that they needed to work with.
So
And the
that's what,
reason-
just a second, so that's what your best friend told you?
Right.
So what did she do from the time you started to tell her about the problems with the girls and the time that he finally removed the children from your daycare? What had your friend Stacy done?
Lexi would get in trouble for various different instances. She would go home and be grounded, that kind of thing.
I'm asking you whether her mother ever took her to a therapy session, whether took her to a counselor.
She
Just
tried
give me
to.
a yes or a no.
Matt refused to let her go to counseling.
Just a second. Just give me a yes or a no.
Well, it's kind of a gray area because she wanted to take him to counseling and Matt refused.
You should never have cared for these children. Never in a million years should you have been involved with these two children with the attitude that you have towards him. In any event, you called the state and reported what you considered his aggressive moves toward you.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
He had every right to do that.
Exactly.
He did it on April 4th, 3.5 days afterwards, and after he saw Stacy at court filing papers.
Are
That's
they
when he
open
went
on the
down.
weekend?
Just a second. Are you asking me a question?
No, they're not.
Are you asking me a question?
They're open on Friday.
You too. You should never have cared for these children.
I agree. I've definitely
And never
learned
have
my
gotten
lesson.
him involved in taking your complaint outside to him, complaint that just happened to have been made at the same exact time that you had just had a telephone altercation with him about payment. Sit down. I'm not aggrieved at all by Mr. Finch's conduct in reporting your husband's conduct to the state and letting them come out and take a look at what's going on in your house, because based upon what you told me, there is inadequate supervision of children.
They didn't.
I'm speaking in your home, based upon what you just told me. What really burns me is your motivation for calling Child Protective Services about this father. That's what really burns me, because it was clear to me from reading the timeline in this, your motivation. You chose not to report the problems with the child generally. You chose to identify Mr. Finch as the possible perpetrator of a problem.
That's not, I told them the entire situation.
You want to tell you something, Miss Albaka? I don't believe you. And the reason I don't believe you is Stacy still your best friend?
Stacy and I are still friends. Yes.
That's why I don't believe you, because you would not have called Child Protective Services on your best friend. There is a difference between him calling the state, and the worst thing that can happen to you is you could be investigated and they might not give you a license to care for children in your house. And you calling Child Protective Services and by innuendo suggesting something inappropriate's going on. It was very subtle. And I've seen and heard over the course of 35 years that subtle innuendo that suggests that a father is in some way inappropriately touching his children, which causes all kinds of red lights to go on with Child Protective Services. And your motivations were just that, judgment on the counterclaim for $5,000. That's all.
Party's out, Your Honor. You may step out.
19-year-old Ashley Baum is suing her former live-in boyfriend, 20-year-old Ross Welty, for utility bills and rent. Ross says Valerie destroyed his belongings.
Yeah, this is case number 345 on the calendar, the matter of Baum versus Welty. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Ms. Baum, you and Mr. Welty lived together for a while. You signed a 6-month lease, and then you moved out.
Yes.
Leaving a couple of months left to go on the lease. You believe Mr. Welty should be responsible for paying the rent on the apartment.
Yes.
Mr. Welty says that you left. It was not your agreement.
He's kicked me out.
He's paid enough. And he says that you came back into the apartment when he was not there and vandalized the apartment. He knows it was you because you admit, to which you are responding yes. Did you
Yes.
vandalize his apartment?
Yes.
When did you vandalize his apartment?
2 days after I moved out.
Why did you vandalize his apartment?
Well, because in our lease it said that he was not allowed to have anybody else move in, and he had his friend move in. And so I took his friend's stuff and I put it outside.
Why wouldn't you want his friend to move in to be responsible for half the rent?
Because he wasn't paying. He would not pay the rent at all.
Who would not?
He wouldn't and his friend wouldn't.
How do you know that?
Because he wasn't working.
What about his friend?
He's barely working.
So you took his friend's stuff and you put it outside where?
In the parking lot.
You can't do that. Not a nice thing to do.
I know.
Well, at least you told me the truth. You see that? Did you do anything else in the apartment while you were there?
No.
Didn't rip out anything with a knife or anything else?
It was my stuff.
What did you rip with a knife?
Pillowcase.
What were you in such a bad mood about, Miss Baum?
That was the day I moved out of the apartment and I just got off of work. He wasn't working at all. As soon as I came home, he was like, well, I'm going out. I told him he wasn't, and he left anyway. He called my dad, and my dad came and picked me up, and I moved out of the apartment.
Now, Mr. Welty, you weren't working.
Oh, man.
Is there any reason why you weren't working?
Just couldn't exactly find a job that I wanted to keep.
Well, who'd you expect to support you?
I didn't expect nobody to support me at all.
Well, somebody's had to pay the rent. Who was paying the rent?
She was.
That means she was supporting you.
Yeah, until that point.
Well, then, listen to me, Mr. Welty. How old are you?
20.
You want me to think that you're an intelligent young man, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
When somebody's paying your bills, they're supporting you. Why should this young lady support you?
Well, I gave
You're
her
not
money.
that cute.
I gave her money all the way up to the time I kicked her out in June.
How much money did you give her?
Half the rent, $320.
Even when you weren't working?
Yeah.
So let's say you gave her half the rent up until the time you, according to you, kicked her out. And if you kicked her out of the apartment, I assume you kicked her out because you said, I'm going out with my friends, and she says, no, you're not, because you're not working, I'm working. And when I come home, I don't want you to tell me you're going out hanging around with your friends. I assume that's what was going on in your head.
Yes.
And what was going on in your head is nobody controls me, I go where I want to go.
Nah, she's crazy.
Well, that's not crazy, sir.
No.
Let me tell you something. If I had a boyfriend who was laying home eating bonbons all day, watching soap operas and Judge Judy at the appropriate time, and I came home from working all day and he said to me, I'm going to hang out with my buddies,
It wasn't
really,
like that,
listen to me,
It was not like that.
it would really annoy me.
But it wasn't like that. She'd come home, I would go out, I'd come back home, she'd break everything.
Well, why did you think she was mad at you, sir?
Because I'd go out for an hour with my friends.
Where'd you go?
It would just be like my dad's house. Usually, that's where I always just go, to my dad's. And she don't let me go to my dad's house. She don't let me going nowhere.
Oh, you should be happy if you went to Mars.
Well, I was working
Listen
3
to
jobs.
me, and you got a hot temper anyway. You know, I could tell, Miss Baum, that you got a hot temper because you went inside and you cut up the joint. So, but bottom line is, you told her to leave. You called her father and said, come and get her.
Yeah, basically.
Well, then if that's what you did, then you're responsible for the rent.
I don't think I'm responsible for really anything, because the way she is.
Well, you're wrong there.
Uh,
You're wrong there, Prince.
I don't think so.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you have an apartment and you sign a lease, a 6-month lease, and you throw out, lock out, get rid of the person who is responsible for the other half of the rent, you pay for it yourself. Now, who did you move in?
I didn't move anybody. My friend James was going to stay with me for like 2
Good.
nights.
So James was going to stay with you, not because you were afraid of the dark, right?
No. Because he just moved back from Colorado at the time. He's like, that was it. He was not going to stay longer than that. And she knows that.
What kind of work did you do?
I did security.
They should have more stringent licensing laws for security people. How old were you when you left school? Quiet! How old were you when you left school?
17.
Did you graduate?
Yes, ma'am.
After you graduated, what did you do?
Worked at Walmart for a while, and then I did security.
What kind of security do you work?
Industrial, like shipyards.
Why weren't you working last year?
Because, well, I quit that job, so I went to England in March.
What did you go to England for?
That's where my mother lives.
How long did you stay?
2 weeks.
How much you stuck for on the time that was left on the lease?
It was $3,675.09.
For how many months?
From July till September, and then June.
When did you move out?
June 1st.
When did the lease expire, in December?
July 15th.
You moved out in June?
Yes.
So that's a month.
She never took her name off the lease.
He didn't go to the leasing office. We're supposed to sign a paper saying we're moving out 2 months before, and he never went and did that. So we had 2 more extra months of rent to pay.
She never got her name taken off the lease. at all.
Taken. She never got herself taken off the lease.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know she had not taken her name off the lease?
She was never, I mean...
Did you know that all along?
Yeah, I still talk to her.
Speak! Just listen to me.
I still
Just
talk to her
answer
every
my
day.
questions. Don't speak until I ask you a question. Then you answer the question, then I ask you another question. Do you understand? When did you know that she was still liable on the lease? Did you know it all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
When you decided to stay beyond July, you stayed in August?
I told her...
So listen to me. Just answer my question. Did you stay in August?
For like half the month.
That's August. Did you pay August's rent?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because I told her that she could have the apartment. I didn't want to be there. I wasn't even living there myself.
You just said you stayed there until mid-August.
No, my stuff was... I never stayed there.
If your stuff is there, you're there, Prince.
I
If
told
your
her she could
stuff
move
is
back
there, you're there.
I told her she could move back in. So I didn't want to be there.
Oh, you are such an idiot. It's really very, very hard. Who do you work for now?
Who I work for now? It's a golf course.
Doing what?
Customer service. Just drive around the golf cart all day.
That sounds like a perfect job for you. Miss Baum, I want you to listen to me very carefully. He may be responsible for 4 months. I'm only charging him for 3. I'm charging you for a month for your stupidity in hooking up with him.
She still does, by the way.
Does she?
Yeah,
No.
she still does. 2 weeks ago.
Well, I want to tell you something, Mr. Welty. I don't get it. There must be something in your cologne that I don't get from here to there. Because quite frankly, Miss Baum, I don't get it. Is what he's telling me accurate, that you two socialized 2 weeks ago? Is that what you're telling me?
We socialized, but not anymore. I'm over it.
All I want to know is, did you socialize with him 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
I should have charged you for more than the month. Sometimes you got to pay for being dumb. Understand that?
Yes.
So if you got to pay a month's rent, you got to pay for a month's rent. You should have taken your name off the lease. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $1,920. Who is this?
My mother.
I can't say to you, go home and give her a good beating. You know, she's too big for that. But somebody's got to put some sense into her head.
Can I say something?
Yes.
My husband hired him to work for us so that he would have a job. He couldn't even keep that.
Listen to me. He's challenged. He can't help himself. He really can't help himself. He's going to find his own water level. Right now, driving around in a golf cart sounds perfect for him. And your daughter, if she's working 3 jobs and trying to make something of herself, then you should be very grateful that he's out of the picture. The only problem is she keeps going back for some unearthly reason. I'm just trying to figure out what the reason is.
Me too.
Well, then try to convince your daughter that this is not something that she wants to attach herself onto. Because if she attaches herself onto somebody who's challenged, she's going to have children who are challenged. God forbid. That's all. Step out.
20-year-old Tyler Gray is suing his ex-girlfriend, 18-year-old Shalia Slayton, and her mother, Tram, for a loan to buy a car and a loan to take a vacation.
Mr. Gray, Miss Slayton is your former girlfriend.
Right.
And this is what your complaint alleges. It alleges that several months ago, you loaned her $1,000 to put as a down payment on a car. She was supposed to make the payments on the car. You were the co-signer on the car loan. She didn't make the payments, and you repossessed the car. According to what I read, you said you sold the car. Did you sell the car, or did you give the car to your mother?
My mother took over the car payments.
And how much after the car was purchased did your mother take over the car payments? How many months?
About 2.
Oh. And then you allege that the defendant went on a vacation. She was your girlfriend. She notified you on the vacation that she was short of some money and asked you if you could put some cash in a joint checking account that you had.
Right.
And you put $300 in the joint checking account because that's what you do.
Right.
And when she came back from vacation, she broke up with you. That's what you say, right?
Yes, we broke up after I got back.
No, your answer says that after you came back from vacation, you broke up with him, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So let's take care of the car first. Forget about the car. You gave the car to your mother. She used the car maybe 2 months. Car's your problem. Got it?
No, actually, she...
No, now you believe, trust me. I want you to trust me. I want you to trust me. That's it. Because if you had sold the car to a stranger at an arm's length transaction, and if there was a shortfall on what you were owed, I might listen to you. The fact that your mother took over the payments, that's not what we call an arm's length transaction. Say nothing. You're driving the car?
Yes.
That's it. The car is yours. You just bought a car for your mother. And if she's going to make the payments, that's $300. Now, when did you go on this vacation?
I went July 15th through the 18th, I believe.
And where did you go?
I went to Newport Beach to visit my sister as a graduation present.
And when did you call him for the $300?
Probably that Saturday I was there.
Well, you went there on the 15th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and you came
Yeah,
back on the
probably
18th.
yeah, the second day I was there, I called him.
And when did you break up with him?
The night I came back, we actually ended up breaking up.
You broke up with him?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
We broke up because this was now a new chapter in my life. I just graduated from high school. I was starting college soon, and I wanted to focus on what I needed to do.
When did you come to this revelation? On the 15th, 16th, 17th, or 18th? Don't speak to her. When did you come to this revelation?
I had been thinking about it prior to leaving, and when I...
And why did you call him and ask him for money?
Well, because we had a joint account, and whenever he needed money, I would give him the money.
Well, that's because there was goodwill between you. You think that if you had called him up on the 16th and said to him, what's your first name?
Tyler.
Tyler. Tyler, when I get back, I'm going to break up with you, but right now I'm visiting with my sister and I need $300. You think he would have put $300? Listen to me. You see how you just laughed? See, you just laughed? Just want you to think about that. If you had called him up on the 16th and said, Tyler, I've been thinking about our relationship. I want to move on. I need a new chapter in my life, but I'm down here with my sister. We're having a good time. I need $300. I'm short. Could you put $300 in our account? You think he would have done it?
Probably not.
Right. So you owe him $300 because you weren't being honest with him. And the fact that you had a joint account where you each put money during the course of your relationship when you had a trusting, mutual relationship with him, that's one thing. But that was pretty sneaky to break up with him the day you... Don't poke her! It was pretty sneaky calling him and breaking up with him 2 days later. How do you think he felt? He felt like an idiot. Felt like an idiot. This wasn't some revelation. Been thinking about it for a while.
Well, this account was actually my account, and he couldn't get an account of his own, so I put him on as my account so that he could deposit his paychecks into there.
Yeah.
But towards the end of our relationship, he didn't have a job, and he was spending my money.
So this was a way of getting
It
money
wasn't
back?
getting back at him or anything like that.
Sure it was. Sure it was. You figure you would cut your losses. What you did was not right. So far on his claim, he gets Zippo for the car, $300 that you had him put in while you were on vacation getting ready to dump him. Now, getting back to your counterclaim. Say nothing. I'm not interested. Do you understand? Let's get to your counterclaim. You say he overdrew your checking account by $700.
Yeah.
When did he do that?
While I was in Newport.
Show me. Did you overdraw her checking account, sir?
No.
All of the ones highlighted are the transaction his card made.
I don't even think we had 700.
No, highlighted. You have something here on 720 and 721. That's not when you were in Newport. Did you take money out of this account, sir?
I didn't take $700 out of the account.
No,
we didn't
100
have $700 in our account.
No. There was 100 taken out on 719, and again on 719, you took out $300. So right after she broke up with you, you withdrew $300 from the account. Is that right?
No.
Take a look at 719. $719, your account.
719, withdraw $100. Okay?
And then there's another 719.
Of 200. You're correct.
I'm always correct.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Listen to me. This was your joint money. Up until the point when you're no longer a couple. And I can understand you going in and saying, I'm not going to let her make a fool out of me and take my $300 when she knew she was going to break $300. No. Your mother's driving around in the other $1,000.
She purchased the car with the full amount that we bought it. She never made a car payment on the
Listen
car.
to me. Arm's length transaction. I tried to explain that to you. If you don't understand it, go to a lawyer. They'll explain it to you better. I don't have the time to educate you. If you sold the car to a stranger, I would hear you. You gave the car to your mother. I don't want to hear it. You took your $300 back after she broke up with you, so you get no $300. Don't put anybody else on your checking account, madam. He put in $300. He took out his $300. So you don't owe him any money, and he doesn't owe you any money. Go, have a happy life. Goodbye, good luck. Have a nice day.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Cassandra Arnold says her aunt, Anita Beam, won't return her living room furniture. Anita is countersuing, claiming Cassandra filed false charges with Child Protective Services.
Miss Arnold, the defendant is your aunt, and it is your claim that she has some furniture that belongs to you.
Yes.
In addition to that, you claim that she harassed you at a time when you were a tenant, along with your boyfriend?
My husband.
Your husband?
Yes.
Okay. When and why did you move in with your aunt, Miss Arnold?
I moved in with my aunt in February because I had no place to stay. I was living with my father at the time, and him and his girlfriend had split up, and I couldn't stay with my mom, so my aunt...
Just a second. So you were staying with your father and his girlfriend.
Right.
In whose apartment?
It was his girlfriend's house.
And how long had you been staying with your father?
Since I was 13.
So you moved in with your father to his girlfriend's house?
Right.
When they split up, where did your father go?
He went to one of his friends' home, and the reason why I couldn't go with him is because I have a little 16-pound cockapoo, and they already have dogs. So my aunt agreed to let me move in with her. I could keep my dog, and I would pay her $200 a month.
All right, so you moved in February, $200 a month. Right. And then what happened?
Around June, my boyfriend started spending a lot of time with me at my house. My aunt and her boyfriend were having problems. Her boyfriend wasn't working, and he couldn't pay his bills. So my aunt asked us if we would like to move into her basement and pay her $600 a month for the basement, which would include everything in the house, utilities, food, everything. We agreed and moved down into the basement.
Okay. What was your boyfriend doing at the time?
He was working on roofing. He was a roofer.
Okay. That was in June?
Yes.
Keep going.
And in August, my car had broken down, and I couldn't get to him from school. So
I let you use my car.
Shh, shh, shh. Don't interrupt. You'll have a chance. Okay. Go ahead.
Up until the point I was able to buy a new car, my aunt let me use her car. In exchange, we replaced the gas and did oil changes on her car. Towards the end of August, I bought a car for $800 and was only able to pay her $300 of the rent that I owed her. I told her that when we got our next paycheck, we would be able to make up the difference. She agreed to that. About a week later, she served us with eviction papers and put a lock on the upstairs door so we were not able to go and use the kitchen or the upstairs bathroom.
Okay.
And after that is when everything started getting out of control. My aunt would come downstairs drunk and call us out of our names. She would tell us to get the out of her house, and at some point she would badger us so bad that we did have to leave, and on 3 occasions actually we had to call the cops on her.
Okay.
Because she wouldn't leave us alone.
I don't get to the furniture. Somehow in your whole complaint you're talking about furniture, and you didn't tell me anything about the furniture.
The furniture, when we made the decision to move down into the basement, I had all of my belongings in storage.
What belongings did you have?
I had the furniture in storage.
What furniture?
The living room furniture. It was living room furniture. It was a 5-piece sectional couch and 2 antique parquet tables.
When had you purchased the 5-piece sectional?
The 5-piece sectional couch was purchased in Maryland.
By whom?
Me and my father. And when I moved out of his house, and I tried to go on my own at first, and I got my own place, and he gave me the furniture back. We put it in there, and then when it didn't work out in my own place, I put
Why didn't it work out in your own place?
Just jobs and bills and just being young and buying stupid stuff and not really paying attention to what's going on. So it didn't work out, and I moved back into my father's house.
And you put the furniture in storage?
Yes.
How did your aunt get it in her house?
My aunt was complaining because she says that her furniture embarrassed her. She had really not too nice furniture in her house. So I agreed to put the furniture in her house until I moved out.
Okay. All right, Miss Beam, let's get to the furniture first.
Well, I got rid of 2 complete sets of furniture to accommodate her furniture.
Why would you do that?
Because she could not afford to keep it in storage and pay me.
Listen, you don't get rid of wonderful furniture that
Well,
you
I didn't
love.
say it was the best.
All right. So her story has a ring of truth to it, Miss Beam, that you didn't like your furniture, that it was old.
Yeah, it was old, yes.
Okay.
And after she was there for a while, then she stated how she was going to give that to me because when she moved out, her and Travis were going to start fresh.
When she first put it in your house.
Yes.
She put it in your house, and she said to you, use it for as long as you like while I'm here. Is that right?
Yes.
And you say sometime later she told you, you keep it.
That's right.
When later?
I would say it was in the end of June.
The end of June?
Yeah, because that's when her car started breaking down and she started to need my car to get back and forth to work on a daily basis.
Okay. Now, Miss Beam, your counterclaim alleges that Miss Arnold called Child Protective Services on you, and she acknowledges that she did.
Yes.
How old is your child?
10.
Boy or a girl?
Boy.
Who is this person who's here with you?
It's my brother.
Does he live with you?
No, but he takes care of my son in the morning before he goes to school.
Tell me your name.
Bernard Homan.
How far do you live from your sister, Mr. Homan?
Between 3 and 4 miles.
Did you ever know your sister to have a drinking problem? Look at me. Did you ever know your sister to have a drinking problem?
No, I wouldn't say a problem, no.
What would you say, sir? And I want you to make sure you answer, because, you know, I know everything.
I understand.
So I want you to give me an answer.
She has more liquor bottles in her house than I do.
Have you ever seen your sister intoxicated?
In
Look
the
at me.
past, I have, yeah.
When was the last time you saw your sister intoxicated?
Probably over a year.
Where?
It was at a party.
Family party?
It was.
Did you ever have any concern about your sister and her drinking? Look at me. Don't look down. You see, that's a sign, sir.
Okay.
That's a sign. Did you ever have any concern about your sister and drinking?
No.
You should.
Why should he?
Because, I'm going to answer your question. Because people who abuse alcohol...
What makes you think I'm abusing?
Shh, listen to me. Listen to me. You ask me a question, I'm going to try to answer you.
Okay.
People who abuse alcohol have an affect. And when you've been involved in the court system for as long as I have, you develop an uncanny ability to be able to tell people by their affect who have, in the past or currently, abused either drugs or alcohol. And I'm going to tell you that you are not going to be able to convince me, especially after I listen to Brother, that you do not have an alcohol problem.
You're going to go by what two vindictive teenagers say about me?
Listen to me. No, has nothing to do with what they said about you.
Well, it
you
seems
weren't
like it
listening.
does.
You weren't listening to me.
Judge, you asked me if I thought she had a drinking problem. Exactly what would be your definition of a drinking problem? Perhaps mine and yours are different.
Aren't different, sir. Yours and mine are exactly the same. Miss Bean, listen to me. There are two things that I have to determine in this lawsuit. One, whether or not you are responsible for the furniture. And I find that the furniture was not given to you as a gift, that the furniture was given to you by this young lady to use, and that since I have no indication that this furniture is going to be returned in reasonable condition, and since she doesn't have a bill, and since it's a 5-piece sectional, I'm ascribing to this used furniture, which was used when she put it in your house, the whole kit and caboodle, not $5,000, $800. Then I have to...
She told me she only paid $250 from a crackhead for it.
Listen to me. Then I have to look at your counterclaim. The plaintiff acknowledges she called Child Protective Services. So there's no issue that she did. I believe that she did, at least in part, because of the bad blood that developed towards the end of her tenancy with you. Whether I find, by just a little bit more evidence, that there was some basis for her to call is the issue. And I don't want to go into, after the boyfriend moved out, whether you started
to drink more.
It's not my boyfriend,
it's my son's father.
Just one second. Did he live with you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. He wasn't your husband?
No.
Well, then how would you introduce him to people?
My son's father.
You would say, I'm living with my son's father?
Yep.
Not your boyfriend, not your fiancé?
No, I don't call a man that's 52 years old a boy.
Got it? Got it. Okay. Miss Arnold, what you said in your complaint was that as soon as you moved in, you realized that your aunt had a drinking problem and got nasty when she drank.
Yes.
But That happened as soon as you moved in.
It did.
In February. You didn't report it in February.
I had no place to
You
go.
didn't I don't care whether you had no place to go or not. The issue in calling Child Protective Services is not whether you had a place to go. You're a grown-up. You called Child Protective Services after the eviction to get even. And if you were legitimately interested in the welfare of your 10-year-old cousin, you would have called Child Protective Services in February.
I was more...
Or March. Or April.
I was more interested in it now because after her boyfriend left, she started going really, really downhill. She started bringing strange men home. She started staying out all nights.
Listen to me. I'm dismissing your counterclaim, Ms. Beam. I find that there was, in all probability, justification for her making a report to Child Protective Services, irrespective of what her motives were. I am not directing you to return this sofa, sectionals, and 2 tables to her because I'm not sure what kind of condition they'd be in when they got back to her. And I am ruling in her favor in the amount of $800 for that furniture. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
20-year-old Catherine Gonzalez is suing her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old exterminator Zachary Finney, for breaking their apartment lease and for a loan to have his teeth fixed.
So you two people, when you were under 20, decided to take up housekeeping together, according to what I read in your complaint, and you leased an apartment. At the time you leased this apartment together, were you working?
Yes, I was working.
And how much did you earn a week?
I got $9 an hour. I'd get like about $400 or $500 every 2 weeks.
Well, is it $400 every 2 weeks or $500 every 2 weeks?
The months differed, but I know in December when we moved in, I made $1,083 and 10 cents in December.
In December. Did you work overtime for Christmas during that time?
I worked a little bit more hours, but...
Okay. So let's say you made $500 every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay? And you, what kind of work were you doing?
I was a mover, and I made about, say, $350 every week.
So you made about $1,400
Yes, ma'am.
a month. And what kind of an apartment did you rent?
A 1-bedroom,
How much was the rent?
$530.
When did you sign the lease?
We signed it in November, but it began December 1st, 2004.
And it was a 6-month lease?
It was a 1-year lease.
How long did you live there?
I lived there until June.
So you lived there for 6 months?
Yes.
And then you moved out?
Yes.
How long did you live there?
I lived there until September 30th of this year.
So you stayed on an extra 3 months?
I'd say almost 4.
Did you pay the rent for the 4 months that you lived there?
Yes.
They're coming after you for the 2 months rent that remains on the lease after he moved out.
Yes, 2 months he didn't pay rent.
You want him to pay those 2 months?
Yes. And also, he had porcelain veneers put on before we moved into the apartment even. And he promised he would pay me back for those when we went to Mexico to get his porcelain veneers.
How long ago was that?
That was last fall. So
A year ago?
Yes, a year ago.
Forget about it. I'm not interested in something that happened a year ago. Then you moved in together, you pulled money. Did you have a joint bank account?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Get over it, Ms. Gonzalez. Now, why do you think that he should be responsible solely for the last 2 months' rent? You moved out in June.
He promised me he would stay there until the lease was over. I told him, you know, he didn't want to live with his parents. I said, you don't have to worry. I won't ever make you live back with your parents. As long as you stay there, you can stay there. I trust you. And he promised that he would stay there until the lease was up.
Well, didn't you promise him you were going to stay there until the lease was up when you signed the lease with him?
Yes, but until he asked me to leave, then...
He asked you to leave, why?
There was a lot of reasons. I could have left before. I stayed there to help him pay rent, and really that was the only thing I was staying for towards the end. And the moment he told me that I could leave, I was happy. He said, please leave, and I said, okay.
Because he was making everybody's life miserable.
Yes. He was...
Well, but I still don't get your position that it was okay for you to leave and stick him with the rent, but it's not okay for him to leave and stick you with the rent, or at least half of it.
I would have stayed there, but he told me that I could leave.
Miss Gonzalez, stop being a baby. 2 20-year-olds, if they're not getting along, don't stay with each other. That's why police come to houses, because people get hot-tempered and nasty stuff that goes on in people's homes when they're not getting along. So you left.
Yeah.
And he paid the rent.
Yeah, he paid the rent.
So?
So, and he should have continued to pay it until December. Also, he signed...
You should have continued to pay it after you left in June. Where did you go?
I went to live with my dad. And...
Well, if you went to live with your dad, then you had plenty of money. You should have given him
No,
half
I
the
did not
rent.
have plenty of money. I had bills...
Listen to me. You should have given him half the rent. Said, I'm leaving. Too bad it didn't work out. We shouldn't live together. I'll give you half the rent.
I have a piece of paper, though, that says he owes me $800 per month for rent and expenses, regardless of whether we're living. It doesn't say not if Zach doesn't live there. It doesn't say any conditions on it. And so that was my guarantee that he would stay there and pay the rent, because he signed a piece of paper saying that he would.
Let me see it. I, Zachary Finney, will give $800 a month for rent or other reasons to Catherine Gonzalez for a period of 1 year from December 1st, 04 to December 1st, 05. What does that mean, sir?
To get the apartment that we moved into, I had a lease that I had prior to living there with my roommates. I had an apartment with them. I moved out, and my other roommate was supposed to take that over. He left, and that went on my credit, so I couldn't get approved. The reason I did that is the apartments asked me to do it so we could get approved to move in there. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to move in there.
So this wasn't for her.
It was to get us approved to live there.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
All right, give this back to her. All right, now why are they just going after you for the last 2 months of this rent, Miss Gonzalez?
Because my name was on the lease.
So he's not even liable on the lease?
No, but this piece of paper was my guarantee that he would not.
That wasn't your guarantee. That's not the reason it was signed. So the rent is $530 a month?
Yes.
Did you give them notice you were moving out, sir?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I've been paying the rent ever since she moved out. It's September. We had a hurricane hit Louisiana, Katrina, and a hurricane that was going to hit Houston, Rita. Well, I'm an exterminator, and my customers started canceling, and I work off commission. If I don't work, I don't get paid. And I was out of work probably almost 2 weeks, I would say. I asked her for help, and she kept giving me a runaround about why she couldn't help me, so I just left. I wasn't going to stay there.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Okay.
Well, in any event, you did have an agreement, and your agreement was each of you would pay half the rent. Is that your agreement when you
Yes.
moved in? And if there were 2 months left remaining on the lease, that means that each of you would be responsible for $530. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, you think it's fair, Mr. Finney, that you pay $530?
No, I don't.
Well, it is. It is, sir. You paid for the 4 months rent in the apartment, but you lived in the apartment for 4 months.
Yes.
And from what I gather from Miss Gonzalez, it was by mutual understanding that you left. She wasn't happy there. You weren't happy with her there. She was more than happy to leave. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, I think it's reasonable that each of you was responsible for the last 2 months that remain on this lease. And next time you decide to set up housekeeping with somebody, you better make sure it's somebody that's going to either stick it out with you, or if they're not going to stick it out with you, then you can afford to pay the rent by yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's not his responsibility to pay this entire amount, nor is it yours. Anyway, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $530. That's all.
Jessica Eveler says her half-sister, Melody Zampino, stole furniture during tenancy in her home. Jessica claims she kicked Melody out because she was using drugs.
Miss Eveler, the defendant is your half-sister, and according to what I read, you only recently, in the last few years, had a relationship with each other.
Yes.
According to your complaint, you rented a home that you own to your sister with the understanding that she would have an option to buy it after she paid rent for a while.
Yes.
Subsequently, within a relatively short period of time after she moved in, you evicted her. But your lawsuit wants your furniture back. And you say when you left some furniture in the basement that was yours. You allowed her to use some furniture, but when she moved out, she took your things. The defendant says that you gave her a living room set, that the bedroom furniture that you claim you want back was actually repossessed by the company that you had rented it from, so she doesn't have that. And she is counterclaiming because she says that because of your precipitous behavior, which was not warranted by anything she did, she was forced to move. She had moving expenses. She was forced to move very quickly, and she wants to be compensated for that and all of her emotional distress. When did you lease her your house?
It was in July.
And when did you evict her?
I gave her notice September 10th.
Had she paid rent in August?
Yes.
Had she paid rent in September?
No.
Why did you evict her?
There was drug usage going on, and I only agreed to 4 people living in the house.
How did you know there was drug use going on in the house?
August 24th, my uncle came there, and they smoked it right in front of him.
Smoked what?
Pot.
Who did?
Melanie and a guy named by the name of Brandon.
You agreed, you said, for 4 people to live in the house?
Yes.
Who were the 4 people?
Her, Christina New Church, which is right over there, and their...
Is this a friend?
It's my roommate. We've lived together for 9 years.
Okay.
And they have each one child.
How many people were living there?
Between 7 and 8.
Who else was living there?
I got 2 people that were not even residing there, a piece of mail of theirs.
Can I see?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Brandon?
My cousin. He did not live there. He stayed there occasionally during the week because Christina works 3rd shift, and he tended the kids. I did pay him.
Where did he live otherwise?
He lived with his father.
Was Joseph?
My husband. Some of my utilities were in his name. My husband and I have been separated for...
Tell me about the furniture.
We did have a verbal agreement about the living room set. If she purchased the home, it would be added in with the cost of the house. However, she didn't buy the house, so the furniture didn't come with the house. And I did try to call her.
Go ahead. Let's deal with the living room furniture first.
Okay. When we discussed the house, she said to me, you can have my washer and dryer, you can have my living room set, you can have the bedroom set if you pay the last $150 to Color Time where she was renting her bedroom set from. I said, I have an antique set, I don't want the bedroom set, but I will take the living room set because mine is used. The living room set was stained with marker. One of her children must have wrote on it. Her husband works on cars. There's massive grease marks on the one where he must have sat regularly, which I have all pictures to show. She gave me the living room set. She never said if you purchase the home or if we don't come back, because when she actually on September 10th asked me to move out, she told me it was because her grandmother threw her out of the house that she was staying in South Carolina. I do not use drugs, and I'm
Can I see a picture of this living room set that she wants back?
Of just the living room set in question?
Mm-hmm.
Because I did bring pictures of my old living room set just to show you why I would switch.
You're talking about the sofas and end tables as well?
And the coffee table. And I did attempt to take pictures of the markings.
For when I left, there might have been a little bit of like grease stains, but there was no marker on my living room set. It was only...
When did you purchase it?
February of 2 years ago.
You have a receipt for it?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see it, please? And who lived in the house with you?
My husband and my 2 children.
How old are your children?
1 and 2.
This doesn't tell me when you purchased it. Take that, please, Bud. Return that to her. I don't know what this furniture looked like when you left, but certainly a month later, it looks pretty used and pretty abused to me. And when you have 2 young children, that's what furniture like this looks like. Certainly not worth much. You'd have to pay somebody to take it out. You would. You'd have to pay somebody to take out these 2 sofas. What's next? What about the bedroom's furniture?
I purchased that, and I actually have the original bill. And when I got into my house in late September, I came to clean it up and stuff. The bed was set up, but it was sliced. The bed was set up in the basement like someone had been sleeping there.
So what are you talking about, just the mattress?
The mattress and the headboard was damaged, and I have pictures of that.
Who slept on the mattress?
When we lived there, me and my husband.
When I lived there, no one. I had my own set.
Fine. Did you slice the mattress?
I did not. I also have a letter from Color Time saying that they repossessed her bedroom furniture that she left in the basement.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about the mattress.
Oh.
And they took the dressers, by the way, because I had asked them to take the dressers.
We're not talking about a whole bunch of money. I mean, we're certainly not talking about $3,500. Maybe we're talking about $100. I'm just trying to figure out why we're all here.
I'd like to make a statement on that.
Go ahead.
Judge Judy, because I feel that we're here for the same reason that Jessica, the only time she ever interacts with me is when there's trouble to be made. When she needs something, she'll call me. When she needs a babysitter, she'll call me. I actually paid money to find her because I wanted to know my sister. And the only thing that's coming out of this, no matter how you look at it, is a destroyed relationship.
That's unfortunate. When did she tell you to move?
September 10th.
And when did you move?
She gave me until September 28th when she started calling the law and having her stepfather threaten to put me out the quote-unquote old-fashioned way.
Did anything happen September 10th that precipitated this?
No.
I basically had coming back to Pennsylvania. My grandma her name's on the house also, so she had a decision to make, and she made that.
That doesn't give me an answer. That's a lot of double talk. You were coming back to live there, is that right?
Yes.
All right, so you were coming back to live there, so you told her to move.
Yes, well, the drug usage was the reason why.
No. Because if the drug usage was the reason why, you would have told her to move on August 24th or August 25th. You didn't. Or the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You told her to move on September 10th because you had to come back to your house. So stop making up excuses. You get it?
Yes.
And you had a responsibility to give her 30 days notice. You didn't do that.
In that town, you only have to legally give 10 days.
Because you're not allowed to legally rent without a renter's permit, and she didn't have one.
Not nice. So you get nothing. Not even the $100 that maybe your mattress is worth if it was destroyed, and maybe your coffee tables were worth. Because what you did was the wrong thing, because they're living there with, let's say, 4 people, including 2 children. 2 children who by September 10th have started school, have settled in, and because you can't live where you were going to live and had to come home, you told them to move and gave them what I consider no notice. Not even the right thing to do to a stranger, but to do to somebody who's related to you? Outrageous. Now, where did you move?
I live in Dover. I'd like not to say exactly where because I don't...
Fine. Did you pay her September's rent?
I did. I have that here.
Can I see it, please?
Then she didn't pay August. She paid 1 month.
How many months' rent did you pay?
I only paid September because when she moved, I was supposed to move in September 1st. When she moved, she had gone down to South Carolina and came back. There was some, like, flooding. People were messing around with her house. She said, Melanie, please just move in as soon as possible. I had to clean up as well.
Just a second. When did you move in?
Mid-July.
Well, then you should have paid 2 months' rent. You only paid 1. You saved a little bit of money so that you had enough money to put down on another apartment. Gonna entertain?
Yes, the only problem that I had was just finding something. We moved, we
And you
lived
found
just fine.
something?
Yes.
That's good.
Can I say something, Matt? The electric and gas was shut off September 22nd. When my grandfather went the 26th, everything was moldy, the freezer, everything. So they were out for a while.
Listen to me very carefully. You did the wrong thing. You wanted to move back to your house. You wanted her out. It had nothing to do with drugs or other people living there. It had to do with you coming home because you had no place else to live. So I don't know why you're suing her, because the truth of the matter is, if you hadn't brought this lawsuit, she wouldn't have counterclaimed. She was willing to forget it.
Yes, I
Forget
redid an
it.
entire
It's over.
room.
It's over. You did the wrong thing. You owe an apology, not a lawsuit. Case is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
22-year-old daycare provider Melanie Bartlett is suing former client Thomas Jones for unpaid daycare fees and late charges. Thomas says Melanie left his son in the care of a certified schizophrenic.
Miss Bartlett, you run a daycare service, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Jones had 1 child?
Yes.
A little boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Enrolled in your daycare. Is your claim that he took the child out of daycare without giving you notice, that he owes you for a certain period of time that the child was there when he didn't pay, and he also owes you for a whole bunch of late fees because he took the child out without notice? Mr. Jones says that he owes you some money for the daycare.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It is his claim that he had good cause to remove his son from your daycare because you were not properly caring for him.
That is not true, Your Honor.
So let's resolve what we can resolve, and then we'll get on to what's in dispute. How much money, Mr. Jones, do you owe her for the time your son, who was how old at the time?
14 and a half, 15 months, Your Honor.
How much do you owe Miss Bartlett for the time she did, in fact, care for him?
Approximately 2 weeks, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's
And
untrue. He paid me the first week, and then after that, I had no other payment from him.
Well, I'm trying to recall. First weeks were paid in full. The second week, I received partial payment. That's what you said.
$45.
Well,
Yes.
but you have to add that.
Yes.
So we paid you partially.
Yes.
For the second week. So each week was how much? Miss Bartlett?
$160. And the late fees are $10.
Just a second. $435 is what you owe her for the time your son was there and you didn't pay.
That's correct, ma'am.
Now let's get to termination fee and all of that stuff. Miss Bartlett, how many children do you take care of?
I just started my daycare, so I was in the process of getting my license, and he was my first customer.
Were you licensed at the time?
No. I made him aware of that. I have the paperwork that I was in the process of getting the license, and
That's
I made him
untrue, Your
aware
Honor.
of that when he enrolled his son.
At the time you took care of him, you were not a licensed daycare provider. Is
No.
that what you're telling me?
I was in the process of getting the license. It was just paperwork.
At the time you
No.
took care of his son, you were not a licensed daycare provider.
No.
Did you know that?
No, ma'am.
How did you locate her?
Through the internet.
Do you have a copy of the ad?
Unfortunately, I do not, Your Honor.
I do.
Let me see it, please. Oh, well, this is deceptive, Miss Bartlett. Melanie Bartlett, that's you. License number upon request.
The only choice was to put in a license number or to say upon request. And I was
No,
in
the
process.
choice is I don't have one. That's your choice. When I say it's deceptive, it says upon request. Upon request means I have one and I'll give it to you if you ask me for it. So that's deceptive. Now let me see the contract that he signed. In the contract, do you say that you are not licensed?
I didn't mention anything about being licensed or not licensed in the contract, no.
Well, then that's deceptive, Miss Bartlett. That's one thing. Got to ask questions.
Yes,
Better questions when you're turning over the most precious commodity that you have to somebody that you don't know. Your license, check to make sure it's a valid license with the state. You know how to do that now?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. The most egregious thing, if it's true, is he removed the child from your care during the second week in October. Is that right?
Approximately that, yes, ma'am.
And on October 7th, according to you, something happened. Want to tell me what happened?
I was informed by Melanie that she was going to a funeral. She asked if she could take my son to this funeral. She told me her mother would be going to watch my son.
That is untrue.
I don't want to hear.
I agreed to this, and I later found out that my son was left in the care of someone who was not qualified, alone in a car with him for, I don't know how long, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And this individual happens to be a state-diagnosed schizophrenic, and,
That's what you wrote.
And I'm very fortunate that nothing happened to my son, that this wasn't a point where, something went wrong.
And after that, you took him out.
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
He knew the day before. My ex-boyfriend was doing work with him, and he informed him of the funeral that I would be attending. He brought it up as soon as he came to pick up his child that day, and I told him I had a friend who could watch his son, and I told him it was the friend he was referring to, who happens to be schizophrenic.
That's not true.
And
Listen
he
to
said
me.
that there was nothing wrong.
Listen to me. You have to skip a funeral. You have a job.
I know.
Listen to me. Did you leave this child in a car?
Yes.
Wrong. You don't do that.
I left him in there with my friend. The air conditioning was on, and it was
Listen
10
to
minutes.
me. That's not your job. You have one job when you take care of a 14-month-old baby.
He
and
didn't
it's not
say
to go.
anything that
I'm
he didn't want
speaking
him
to
to
you.
go.
And it's not to go to a funeral. And it's not to leave a baby in a car. And it's not to leave a baby in a car with someone who is on disability for a psychiatric illness. Because according to what you said in your statement, because you anticipated what he was going to say, I was attending a funeral for my ex-boyfriend's family member. I left Jacob asleep in the car for a total of 10 minutes with a good friend. He is a schizophrenic, but he's been on his medication. Did they give you a license?
Yes.
That's a big mistake.
I would trust him with my own 9-month-old daughter. and
That's
he's watched
your
her on several
prerogative.
occasions.
Listen to me. That is your prerogative. You can trust him with your 9-month-old if you wish. You cannot trust him with somebody else's 9-year-old. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
So you don't get termination fees or late fees or any other fees.
He knew the day before that...
Listen, I don't care what he knew. There is no way that you're going to tell me that you told him that you were going to leave his son in a car with a diagnosed schizophrenic but who's taking his medication. I don't believe that you told him all of that.
My mother was there when I told him
wouldn't
that.
believe you if you told me or your mother told me that. What I am going to give you is the money that he owes you for the time that he used your services.
It's written in the contract about the late fees. He gave me no notice. I had no
I wouldn't
indication.
give you a second notice.
I had no idea he was not going to bring his son back to me.
Listen
We
to me.
moved-
I don't care whether you knew or not. You're not getting it. Maybe your mother can explain it to you. Maybe the state where you live will listen. Because after what I said to you, if you still think that it was appropriate to leave a child in the care of a diagnosed schizophrenic who receives disability, that speaks to your judgment in caring for infants ages 0 to 2, which is what you wouldn't let you take care of a guppy age 0 to 2. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $435, and you're lucky you're getting it. That's all.
22-year-old daycare provider Melanie Bartlett is suing former client Thomas Jones for unpaid daycare fees and late charges. Thomas says Melanie left his son in the care of a certified schizophrenic.
Miss Bartlett, you run a daycare service, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Jones had one child?
Yes.
A little boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Enrolled in your daycare. Is your claim that he took the child out of daycare without giving you notice, that he owes you for a certain period of time that the child was there when he didn't pay, and he also owes you for a whole bunch of late fees because he took the child out without notice? Mr. Jones says that he owes you some money for the daycare.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It is his claim that he had good cause to remove his son from your daycare because you were not properly caring for him.
That is not true, Your Honor.
So let's resolve what we can resolve, and then we'll get on to what's in dispute. How much money, Mr. Jones, do you owe her for the time your son, who was how old at the time?
14 and a half, 15 months, Your Honor.
How much do you owe Miss Bartlett for the time she did, in fact, care for him?
Approximately 2 weeks, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's
And
untrue. He paid me the first week, and then after that, I had no other payment from him.
Well, I'm trying to recall. First weeks were paid in full. The second week, I received partial payment. That's what you said.
$45.
Well,
Yes.
but you have to add that.
Yes.
So we paid you partially.
Yes.
For the second week. So each week was how much? Miss Bartlett?
$160. And the late fees are $10.
Just a second. $435 is what you owe her for the time your son was there and you didn't pay.
That's correct, ma'am.
Now let's get to termination fee and all of that stuff. Miss Bartlett, how many children do you take care of?
I just started my daycare, so I was in the process of getting my license, and he was my first customer.
Were you licensed at the time?
No. I made him aware of that. I have the paperwork that I was in the process of getting the license, and
That's
I made him
untrue, Your
aware
Honor.
of that when he enrolled his son.
At the time you took care of him, you were not a licensed daycare provider. Is
No.
that what you're telling me?
I was in the process of getting the license. It was just paperwork.
At the time you
No.
took care of his son, you were not a licensed daycare provider.
No.
Did you know that?
No, ma'am.
How did you locate her?
Through the internet.
Do you have a copy of the ad?
Unfortunately, I do not, Your Honor.
I do.
Let me see it, please. Oh, well, this is deceptive, Miss Bartlett. Melanie Bartlett, that's you. License number upon request.
The only choice was to put in a license number or to say upon request. And I was
No,
in
the
process.
choice is I don't have one. That's your choice. When I say it's deceptive, it says upon request. Upon request means I have one and I'll give it to you if you ask me for it. So that's deceptive. Now let me see the contract that he signed. In the contract, do you say that you are not licensed?
I didn't mention anything about being licensed or not licensed in the contract, no.
Well, then that's deceptive, Miss Bartlett. That's one thing. Got to ask questions.
Yes,
Better questions when you're turning over the most precious commodity that you have to somebody that you don't know your license. Check to make sure it's a valid license with the state. You know how to do that now?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. The most egregious thing, if it's true, is he removed the child from your care during the second week in October. Is that right?
Approximately that, yes, ma'am.
And on October 7th, according to you, something happened. Want to tell me what happened?
I was informed by Melanie that she was going to a funeral. She asked if she could take my son to this funeral. She told me her mother would be going to watch my son.
That is untrue.
I don't want to hear.
I agreed to this, and I later found out that my son was left in the care of someone who was not qualified, alone in a car with him for, I don't know how long, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And this individual happens to be a state-diagnosed schizophrenic, and,
That's what you wrote.
And I'm very fortunate that nothing happened to my son, that this wasn't a point where, something went wrong.
And after that, you took him out.
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
He knew the day before. My ex-boyfriend was doing work with him, and he informed him of the funeral that I would be attending. He brought it up as soon as he came to pick up his child that day, and I told him I had a friend who could watch his son, and I told him it was the friend he was referring to, who happens to be schizophrenic.
That's not true.
And
Listen
he
to
said
me.
that there was nothing wrong.
Listen to me. You have to skip a funeral. You have a job.
I know.
Listen to me. Did you leave this child in a car?
Yes.
Wrong. You don't do that.
I left him in there with my friend. The air conditioning was on, and it was
Listen
10
to
minutes.
me. That's not your job. You have one job when you take care of a 14-month-old baby.
He
and
didn't
it's not
say
to go.
anything that
I'm
he didn't want
speaking
him
to
to
you,
go.
and it's not to go to a funeral, and it's not to leave a baby in a car, and it's not to leave a baby in a car with someone who was on disability for a psychiatric illness. Because according to what you said in your statement, because you anticipated what he was going to say, I was attending a funeral for my ex-boyfriend's family member. I left Jacob asleep in the car for a total of 10 minutes with a good friend. He is a schizophrenic, but he's been on his medication. Did they give you a license?
Yes.
That's a big mistake.
I would trust him with my own 9-month-old daughter. and
That's
he's watched
your
her on several
prerogative.
occasions.
Listen to me. That is your prerogative. You can trust him with your 9-month-old if you wish. You cannot trust him with somebody else's 9-year-old. Do I make myself clear?
Yes.
So you don't get termination fees or late fees or any other fees.
He knew the day before that...
Listen, I don't care what he knew. There is no way that you're going to tell me that you told him that you were going to leave his son in a car with a diagnosed schizophrenic but who's taking his medication. I don't believe that you told him all of that.
My mother was there when I told him
wouldn't
that.
believe you if you told me or your mother told me that. What I am going to give you is the money that he owes you for the time that he used your services.
It's written in the contract about the late fees. He gave me no notice. I had no
I
indication.
wouldn't give you a second notice.
I had no idea he was not going to bring his son back to me.
Listen
We
to me.
moved-
I don't care whether you knew or not. You're not getting it. Maybe your mother can explain it to you. Maybe the state where you live will listen. Because after what I said to you, if you still think that it was appropriate to leave a child in the care of a diagnosed schizophrenic who receives disability, that speaks to your judgment in caring for infants ages 0 to 2, which is what you wouldn't let you take care of a guppy age 0 to 2. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $435, and you're lucky you're getting it. That's all.
Maggie O'Miller claims Teresa Chaidez is in possession of a ring belonging to her. Teresa is countersuing, claiming Maggie embarrassed her at her place of business.
Miss O'Miller, it is your claim that the defendants are in possession of a ring that is yours.
That's right, Your Honor.
And it is a ring that left your possession at some point. You don't know how, you don't know when, but you saw Miss Chaidez wearing the ring in a store. She was employed in the store. You looked at the ring, and since you say it was a unique ring made for you, you were sure that it was yours. You told her it was yours. You went and got the police. They came back. She said her boyfriend or fiancé had given her the ring several years before. This is the fiancé, Mr. Tapia, who says that he purchased the ring, that he paid $1,000 for it, and you want your ring back or money.
I want the ring.
When did you have the ring made?
In 1991.
By whom?
By Creations in Gold up in Seattle, Washington, and this is the jeweler and her husband that made my ring.
Well, who made the ring? This lady or her husband?
Her husband, and he's since deceased.
All right. Did you work with him?
Yes, we had a store together.
Were you the designer or was he the designer?
I was the designer mostly. He did the fabrication.
Stand up. Did you personally do it or did your husband do it?
We both did.
And you remember this particular ring 15 years later?
Yes, I do.
Where did you get the model from for the ring?
It was our design. My husband made
Can I see the ring, please?
Ring for me first.
What do you mean he made it for you first?
A ring like it.
Just a second. He made a ring for you like this first?
Yes.
And then he made another one for Miss O'Miller?
Yes.
Was she a friend of yours?
We met in a restaurant and she approached me and said, "May I look at your ring?" And I said, "Yes." And then she asked, I said, "My husband and I have the store." And then she came to the store.
Where's the one that your husband made for you?
Right here.
Let me see it.
Yes.
Do you want another one that he made? These were made together at the same time.
I just want to see the one that he made for her.
Okay.
Well, these are practically identical.
Yes.
Except the gold is different. Yours is heavier. One that she says is hers is lighter. Practically identical. And your husband, did he surprise you with this? Is my question. Did your husband surprise you with this ring?
Yes, he did.
So that you are not telling me the truth. What's your last name?
Grenzner.
You are not telling me the truth when you say that you designed it with him, because these rings are practically identical. And if what you're telling me is that your husband surprised you, listen to me, surprised you with your ring, that means that you didn't design it. That means he designed it.
We designed it, but he surprised me, and I got the ring for Christmas. Yes, he surprised me with the ring, but not with the design. That is the truth.
Madam, that's a lot of double talk.
No.
If your husband surprised you with the ring, that means that he designed it and gave it to you as a surprise. A husband doesn't say, I want to surprise you with a ring. Let's sit down and you design it, and then it's going to be a surprise. Husband says, I'm going to surprise my wife for Christmas and give her a ring, which he designed. And then when she came in and wanted a ring similar to yours, two of you may have gotten together and say, well, we can make a ring very similar to mine. It's not exactly the same because this is more weight. This is less weight than yours. You understand that. But you did not design it. Sit down.
Can I show you one that he designed to go with that ring?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Not necessary. There's nothing unique about this ring. You've been around jewelry as long as I've been around jewelry. This is, may not be exactly the same, but it's not unique. Now, when was the last time, Miss O'Miller, when was it that you actually saw your ring that either is this ring or is similar to this ring?
Approximately about 3 years ago.
Where did you see it 3 years ago?
In my home.
When did you first miss your ring?
Probably about a week after I'd moved.
Which was when?
3 years ago.
Do you have a police report?
I never made a police report because I didn't know at the time it was lost or stolen. I just thought I'd misplaced it, so I didn't call.
Well, maybe you lost it. Is that possible?
Possible.
Did you have a moving company move you?
It was a small moving company that had moved.
So the answer is that you had a moving company move you.
Right.
So 3 years ago, you did not make a report of any stolen property.
Correct.
So you did nothing.
Nope.
Now, where did you buy this ring, Mr. Tapia?
In Indio, California.
Where?
At a pawn shop.
Had you ever been to that pawn shop before?
No, it was my first time there.
Do you remember who you dealt with there?
No, I just remember taking my grandmother with me, and it was $1,000, so I asked her to loan me $500 of it.
You gave him $500?
Yes, I loaned him $500.
Did he ever pay you back?
Yes, he paid me $100 a month for 5 months.
Okay. So?
So I believe that's my ring. I could tell by the flat back. That was one of his trademarks. It's like the one I have now.
Miss O'Miller, this is a legal issue. If I believe Mr. Tapia that he purchased this ring at a store for $1,000, he becomes what we call in the law a purchaser in due course for value, which means this ring is probably worth no more than $1,000. It has very tiny stones. It doesn't have the, I don't know how much you paid for it.
$3,000.
Well, you overpaid. You can give this back to her. Let us say you lost the ring. Let us say somebody else found the ring and brought it to the pawn shop. In commerce, there's a rationale behind this rule. In commerce, unless you're dealing with a car or a boat or a house, which has to be in writing, if you purchase something and if you purchase it for value, you get the title to it. Now, if Mr. Tapia bought this ring on the street for $50, then he is not a purchaser in due course for value. Then he is on notice that this may be a stolen ring, because nobody sells a ring that's worth $1,000 for $50 unless it's stolen goods. But I believe him, and I believe his grandmother, that they paid $1,000 for this ring. That doesn't mean you get it back.
First of all, his name was not Topia when I was going through all this. His name was Estrada. Then I got a phone call from a man claiming to be a lawyer representing Mr. Estrada. The man that subpoenaed these people with their warrants talked to the lawyer that he's...
Just what kind of warrants? What are you talking about, warrants?
Well, you know, when you go and form... How do I say it?
You went to her place of business where she works as a salesperson. You saw the ring. You said, let me see the ring. She showed you the ring. You said, where did you get it? She said, my boyfriend gave it to me. It's an engagement ring. You said, I have a ring like that. I think it's mine. She said, no, it's mine. You left. You went to the police. You brought the police back to her place of employment because that's her counterclaim, that you embarrassed her. Okay, so now we're at a point where you brought the police back to her place of employment and you said, that's my ring, and it must have been stolen. Is that what you said?
No.
What did you say?
I went home, called the police, and said I saw my ring on her finger at Mathis Brothers.
Okay.
The police lady said, he'll meet you in 15 minutes over at Mathis
So then you
Brothers.
went to Mathis Brothers, and she was there, and she said, it's my ring.
Can I
Yeah.
say something? The officer did say it was stolen, that she said it was stolen. But in front of me, she said it was lost.
So far, I haven't heard any libel, slander, or defamation. She didn't accuse you of stealing it.
Well, when she brought the cops...
You were embarrassed.
I was embarrassed.
You were embarrassed, but that, you know, that's unfortunate. But she's entitled to do that. She said, this is my property. I want it back. Okay, so...
Then I talked to him, and he said, well, for $1,000. He said, it's probably a ring, and for $1,000 you could have it back. And I said, why should I buy something back that's mine, that I feel is mine?
Is that what you said to her?
No, I said that I bought the ring for $1,000, and if she wanted it, she'd have to pay me $1,000, which what I paid.
Is that what he said to you? Well, that's different from what you just told me, Miss O'Miller.
What did I just say that's so different?
You can have it back for $1,000. That's different from saying I paid $1,000 for it, and if you say it's yours, I'm willing to give it back to you, but you have to pay me what I paid for it. That's different. One has a positive connotation and one has a negative connotation.
I can see how you said it just then, yes. I can.
No, see how you said it.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'd like to know why all of a sudden his name became Mr. Topeka.
I don't know. I have a very long name myself. Judith, Blum, Levy, Scheindlin. My name is very, very long. That has nothing to do with the fact that you lost your ring 3 years ago, and you can't have it back. This may be your ring. It may not be your ring. Why in the world would I ascribe to these people any kind of criminal behavior 3 years away? Now, if you told me that he was one of the people who moved your property from one place to another, I would say, aha, a light would go off in my head. Did you work for the moving company that moved her?
Never have in my life.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Well, you can't go around, you know, accusing people of having property, stolen property, and believing that it's stolen. Return this, please. Miss Shades?
Shades, yes.
Yes, it's yours. Miss O'Miller, sad that you lost your ring. I would have felt much better about it if you had reported it to the police stolen. You did nothing. And who knows what happened to it in 3 years? It may have fallen in a truck, and 2 months later, somebody found it in the truck and said, I don't even know where this came from. Said, I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to sell it to a pawn shop and see what they give me for it. He sees it. He goes with his grandmother. He says, I only have $500. Can you lend me the other 500? I believe his grandmother when she said that he paid her back. You don't get your ring back, Miss O'Miller. She also doesn't have to pay you for embarrassing you in the store. She didn't accuse you of stealing it.
Well, when the officer came, he said that, you know, it was stolen. And, I mean, I felt embarrassed when he comes into my job and, you know,
you don't
she made me lose time off of work. And she also had my address with, I don't know how she got my new address. I just moved into a new house. I feel like she's stalking me.
She's not stalking you anymore.
She has.
She's not stalking you anymore. She is entitled
work.
to sue you. Listen to me carefully. She's entitled to sue you. She had a good faith basis to believe that this was her property. And quite frankly, unless you could establish to my satisfaction, which you have, that you were a holder in due course for value, which means you paid value for this ring, I might have returned it to her if I believed it was hers to begin with. But I believe that you purchased it, and I believe you purchased it in good faith with your grandmother. I believe you paid value for it, and therefore the title is clear, is in your name. Do we all understand that? Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Tanya Blishak is suing her former co-worker, Julianne Rouse, for startup money to sell Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Ms. Blishak, according to what I've read in your complaint, you and the defendant worked together in a hair salon period of time, and in addition to your regular work, you were making some money on the side selling Mary Kay Cosmetics. You tried to get Ms. Rouse to become a representative for Mary Kay and claimed that you sold her a quantity of product. You put it on your credit card because she asked you to, with the understanding that she would pay the credit card bill. She paid some, but not all, and you want the balance. Ms. Rouse says that you sort of pressured her into becoming a representative. She paid you back a total so far of $1,400 for the product that was purchased, according to her, without her consent. She stopped selling the product. She still has 6 boxes of it at home that you're welcome to have because she says she's paid enough.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I sold it for about a month.
That's a fib that you just told me, because you told me a moment ago that after a month, so that means that you were at least selling the product for 2 months.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tanya Blishak says former co-worker Julianne Rouse owes for a loan to buy Mary Kay Cosmetics. Julianne says the makeup was forced on her.
When did you start to sell Mary Kay Cosmetics?
September of 2001.
And what percentage do you get of what, for instance, Miss Rouse would purchase from Mary Kay?
At the time, I did get 13% on her order, but I would like to state...
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I just want to say that I explained to her completely and full detail that she does not have to order any inventory whatsoever. It is for her benefit to have inventory if she wants it, so that she can give it to her customers when they buy it from her. That's completely her option. She doesn't have to do it, and she chose to do one of the big ones.
When did she purchase this product?
In April of '04.
And how much did she purchase?
She purchased a $2,400 order.
Now, tell me under what circumstances you financed her order of $2,400.
It was with my credit card.
Why?
She had been a customer as well before, and I had no problems with her financially. She paid her orders. There was no problems. And she wanted to get started with a business. She said she didn't have a credit card and you can't pay cash. And she wanted to do it, and I told her that I would help her out. She was going to pay me back the next month, and we were going to be done with this.
From where was she supposed to get $2,400?
I don't know.
Who do you live with?
My husband.
Have any children?
Yes.
How many?
1.
How old?
7 months.
And you were working full-time?
No, ma'am.
Part-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I wasn't working for a while. I was going to school, and then I went back to work part-time at the salon. And at that time, my fiance at the time were living with roommates, so we didn't have our own place.
So when you purchased this stuff, Miss Rouse, it was your intention to make this a part-time job?
Well, I was working part-time at the salon, and then I left there right about the same time this all happened to work full-time at a travel agency.
So was it your intention to work part-time selling Mary Kay Cosmetics?
At that time, yes.
Who selected the product that was purchased?
Miss Blishak did.
Without your input?
I didn't input. She did it online, and she ordered the things that she thought I needed at the time. And then about 5 weeks later, I needed different products. I had to place another order on my own to get the products that I needed for my clients.
So you were, in fact, working?
For a little bit, yes.
So why didn't you finish paying her for the product?
And in the beginning, I did not want to sell the Mary Kay. She kept asking me to join. I thought if I joined it, it would be over and done with after the $115. So then after this, I decided that I would try it out.
Well, that's what she's talking about.
And she told me when she did this that I would be able to pay her back in a month because you would make so much money selling these products within the first month, as she did. At the time, I couldn't do that. I was working full-time.
Well, that happened later. Miss Rouse.
Within the same week, it
Miss
happened,
Rouse,
ma'am.
listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
There's something about buyer's remorse, which means that at the time you thought it was a good idea, and all of a sudden it didn't look so good after it was done, as opposed to someone who fraudulently sells you something. I'm not getting the sense that Miss Blishak sold you anything fraudulently, especially since you ordered more product a month later. And you paid her $1,400. She paid you $1,400? When did you stop paying her?
August was the last payment I gave her.
And you were paying her prior to that time because you were selling product?
I sold it for about a month.
Or more? Because that's a fib that you just told me, Miss Rouse. Because you told me a moment ago that after a month you ordered more product to sell to your customer. So that means that you were at least selling the product for 2 months.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Sounds to me, Miss Rouse, as a case of you didn't plan on getting pregnant, you planned on working full-time, you planned on selling this part-time. It all didn't work out because you left a part-time job, went to a full-time job, then you got pregnant, then you stopped working. Are you working now?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. You better start selling some Mary Kay cosmetics because you owe her some money. How much does she owe you with interest on your credit card?
$1848.02.
Can I see that, please? Why does she owe you $1848? What kind of interest do they charge you on your credit card?
It was 12.9.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You have 6 boxes of product left?
Yes, ma'am. I have a list of everything I have.
Good. You better start selling it, Miss Rouse. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,848. That's all.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Michael and Robin Thompson claim former neighbor Suzanne Statham owes for harassment and vandalism to their car. Suzanne is countersuing, claiming Michael vandalized her front lawn.
Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, you rented a house in a neighborhood where Mrs. Statham has been a homeowner for many, many years. According to your complaint, for some strange reason, she didn't like you and your family from the beginning and created a situation that ultimately ended in your moving from the house. You are suing her for filing false charges with Child Protective Services, vandalism, and for harassment. Ms. Statham says that while she acknowledges that she called Child Protective Services, she believes she had good cause to do that. And with regard to the vandalism, she said she would never vandalize your car. However, she has proof that you did vandalize her property, and she is counterclaiming. When did you move into this house?
January 2004.
And how many people moved into the house?
5.
Yourself and 3 children?
Yes.
How old are your 3 children?
5, 10, and 16.
Boys, girls?
2 oldest are boys, youngest is a girl.
Okay, so tell me about the first confrontation that you had, allegedly, with Ms. Statham with regard to these false charges with Child Protective Services.
The first was February 2004.
Is that correct, Ms. Statham?
I called. I don't remember exactly when I called.
Fine. Tell me why you called Child Protective Services.
I was concerned.
Well, tell me what made you concerned.
The reason I was concerned is because they would not be there when the boy came home.
Which boy?
It's the oldest boy. I was concerned about his well-being.
Well, tell me what made you concerned.
Because he was left out.
What do you mean left out?
They wouldn't be home when he came home from school. When it was bad weather, he'd be outside, sitting on the porch. I'd let him use my phone to call whomever, and they would come home and let him in.
Yes.
Then he told me that he was living in a tent in the backyard.
Yes.
Sleeping there.
When he said he was sleeping in a tent in the backyard, was the connotation his parents didn't let him in the house?
I kind of, you know, felt sorry for him. I did. I felt like it was, I don't know. He just told me, quote unquote.
No, that's, they didn't say, well, I sleep in a tent in the backyard. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
No.
That Miss Statham, that didn't happen. If you were having a conversation with him and you were talking to him about other things, and he may have said, I sleep in the backyard in a tent, that's my own private space, I like it back there. That sounds more logical to me. Is that what happened?
Well, he told me that he was living in a tent in the backyard, and he liked it. And I said, well, isn't it cold back there?
And what did he say?
He says, oh, I've got a lot of covers.
Yeah.
Okay, and there were so many nights that he was out late at night playing basketball that I heard him. And I was just concerned that he was out at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Well, yeah, it's pretty snoopy. Shh. I'm just telling you, that's pretty snoopy. We're talking about a 16-year-old boy being out at 10 or 11 o'clock at night and saying to you that I sleep in a tent in the backyard and I sleep under covers and I'm very happy. Do you have teenage children?
I've had teenage children.
Did they ever do anything that was bizarre?
Oh, yes, they did.
A lot of things that are bizarre.
Okay.
Well, and now if they want to go out in the backyard and sleep in a teepee or in a tree house, you know, you're just lucky that they don't want their own condo.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. And then I did say something, you know, as far as I raised my children alone, and I latchkey kids had keys, and I mentioned it to Mr. Thompson.
What did you say to him?
I said, you know, like, if they're going to be latchkey kids, at least they could have a key.
For my own information, is there a reason why the 16-year-old didn't have a key to the house?
He loses keys, so we don't personally give him one. There's a lockbox out front with the key in it. And the time frame that he was left alone would be the time that we had to go pick up our other 2 children and then come back. So we come back usually around 4 o'clock. So he's not out all night long. It's only about 30 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I just indicated that I felt as if her interfering in what was going on in your house, because based upon what she says, there was nothing so untoward that, in my judgment, as a seasoned family court practitioner, would have inspired another neighbor to pick up the phone and call Child Protective Services. 16-year-old being out in the street playing basketball at 10 o'clock at night is not neglect, and certainly a 16-year-old who chooses, with parental permission, I gather, to sleep out in a tent rather than to sleep in the house is not abuse.
It wasn't a tent either. It's a shed, as you would call it.
With electricity,
Electricity,
carpet,
carpeting, a fan, a heater,
Why
TV.
was he sleeping out there?
Well, he would sleep out there when he wanted to, but he wasn't opening the lockbox to go into the house, so we created an environment for him in the back after school to go play videos, do his homework, whatever.
Have his own personal
Because
space.
it was a rainy season. We didn't want him outside, but he was too lazy to unlock the box. So that's a 16-year-old.
Right. Now, I want you to describe to me the other forms of what you claim to be harassment.
Okay. Several times there was debris all over our vehicles. A dead rat was put on our car in the morning. After the dead rat incident, we installed a surveillance camera.
This was in September 8th. When I went out to my car, we had already moved the basketball hoop because there were 18 reports to the county where our landlord called us and said, look, you need to move the basketball hoop from the street.
So it's one of these portable things that you put out there that
Correct.
really isn't supposed to be out there, so somebody called and complained. I assume that was you. I cannot, well, I can fault her. I cannot say to Miss Statham, who acknowledges that she called the town, she probably called the landlord about this basketball hoop. If it's not supposed to be there, she's within her rights to call.
Right.
Okay. So she was not a good neighbor, but now we're going to get to the vandalism.
Right.
So you installed a video camera.
surveillance camera.
After
Now,
the dead rat.
After a dead rat. Now, Miss Statham says there was no way she would vandalize your car. Tell me what you found on your car after you installed the video camera.
In the morning, the wife went out. She said there was rocks and debris all over the hood of the car. So I rewound the tape and saw Miss Statham turn her porch light off, come outside, have a cigarette, go through her garden, walk over to the vehicle, throw something on the windshield of the car, and you can hear it hit. And she brushes her hands off and walks back in the house.
I assume that since I see that tape there, that's something that you want me to see. Now, before I see the tape, Miss Statham, did you or did you not vandalize
I
their
did
car?
not.
That's all I want to know.
You can see her porch light's on. She turns off her light. When she comes outside, you'll see her.
Just a second.
There
You
she
see her
is.
they're walking over to the car, and you can hear it. You can hear it hit the windshield, and then she walks back into the house.
She always turns off her porch light when she goes outside.
The reason
to
my porch
smoke.
light is off right there, Your Honor, is because they have those bright lights on me right now.
What were you doing out there, madam?
Well, I had a cigarette. And I was just checking, you know.
No. If you...
I mean, you can't walk out at 10 o'clock. I didn't do anything. I did not throw anything at their car. I swear. I didn't.
So now you can tell me what kind of damage there was to your car.
We have pictures here of the damage.
Can I see, please?
Yes, ma'am. There's a 3-inch crack on the top of the windshield. We took a picture of the car far apart and closer in, and there's also a picture of the surveillance camera.
Did you file a police report, Mr. Thompson,
Yes,
after
ma'am.
this
We have a
incident
copy
of
of
September
that.
5th? Can I see it, please? Anything happen after that?
Yeah, there was an incident where someone went through our car. She screamed at us and our children about the way that our lawn was kept. She sent her son over to talk to us because she said some foul language to us, and we
And our
responded
children.
back to
It was
her.
bad language.
Oh, yes.
Well, that was the wrong thing to do.
So she sent her son over to try and make peace with us.
Is their son here? That's you? Stand up, please. Tell me your name.
My name is Sean Rafferty.
How long has it been since you lived with your mother?
Since I was 16, 17 years old.
Is that when you left?
Yes, ma'am.
Why'd you leave?
I was grown up.
You were grown up at 16?
I felt so.
Just a minute. And you think you were right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to live outside in the backyard in a tent, up a tree, in a subway, or any place else, that would have been okay. Because you're a big boy, you're 16, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now, There came a time, according to the Thompsons, when you went over to their home in order to try to make peace. Why did you think you had to make peace?
Well, because the night before, my mom called and she was scared because he would back his truck into the driveway. So his headlights were facing at her and put his high beams on and leave them on. And I know my mom's a little nosy, as you said. So I know she's hard to live with. So I just walked over, knocked on the door, asked for the man of the house, you know, put my hand out to greet him, give him my name, and, you know, can we just let this be over? I apologize for her bugging you, and, you know, I know that she could do that because she...
That's why you left when you were 16. Go.
But, you know, he didn't want to have anything to do with me.
What, no. What did he say?
To say verbatim, I don't know exactly what he said.
Well, if you went over there, and I assume when you went over there you were sober.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
No, ma'am. He wasn't falling over drunk, but he did have something to drink. We don't drink.
Because, Mr. Rafferty, you got a little bit of a problem?
No, ma'am.
You do. Because it's early in the day, and I can tell you got a little bit of a problem, Mr. Rafferty. A little bit. So when you went over there, I doubt whether you went over stone sober. What did he say to you when he came over?
When he first came to the door, he said, basically, that's my mother across the street. And I remember saying, I'm sorry to hear that. And he kind of had an attitude at first.
No, what did he say? Don't tell me he had an attitude.
He was just kind of rambling on, telling me that his mother drinks on certain days. She's very nosy. She just wants you to cut your lawn the way she likes it. Clean up the trash from the side, which we cleaned out our garage, so our trash cans were full, so we had to wait till the next trash day. So she didn't like that fact. And then he calmed down, I guess, and, you know, tried to apologize for his mother.
And said, let it just go.
Correct.
And what did you say to him?
That's fine. Tell your mother, leave us alone. We don't want nothing to do with her. Don't talk to us. Don't talk to our children. Stay away from us. And we also sent her a letter to that effect.
Can I see the letter?
Yes, ma'am. This was sent on July 6th.
Okay. Now, Mr. Thompson, Miss Statham says that she has a witness. I assume that would be you. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's going to testify on her behalf that he saw you damage her property. Is that true?
No, ma'am. I say he's a liar.
Well, I'm going to be able to tell if he's a liar, because that's my job. And I'm usually pretty good at it. Okay. Mr. Rafferty, you can sit down. Tell me your name.
Richard J. Machado.
Where do you live?
Manteca.
Is that near where Miss Staten lives?
Right next door.
You're going to describe something to me, something that you allegedly saw?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In the early hour of the morning. I had got up to go to the restroom. It was about after 3 o'clock.
Give me the date.
The 17th.
Miss Staten, don't speak.
No. I got it written down on paper. 17th.
17th of what?
May, after 3 o'clock in the morning. And then her dogs start barking. Then I went to the window and raised the blind to see why they were barking. And Mr. Thompson was on the bottom of her driveway. I could see him come up the driveway and in a sweeping motion, throw some fluid out, and then walk to the edge of the property towards where his car was parked on her side, and dabbled around there on the lawn on the edge. There was arm motion, but he had his back to me. So I don't know what he was doing at that time, but I know that he was making motion. Okay. And then he was standing in front of it like he was admiring his work. And then
you saw this, and there are street lights out there. Is that what you're telling me?
Well,
I'm not asking you anything. Okay. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, yeah, because he has 2 spotlights facing her house, and then put a video camera in, and then to harass more, he even put a big sign in the middle of his lawn that says, "Vandal neighbor acquire within."
Miss Staten, I'd like to see the photographs of what you in the morning.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, we have a letter from Miss Statham. According to her, it happened May 14th.
The 14th.
Shh. Mr. Thompson.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody clearly poured something on her lawn.
I understand.
I don't know. I can only get out something. Oh, it probably says wacko. K-U. C-K-U.
The 4-letter word, ma'am.
Oh, something really nasty. I thought it was
Right.
wacko. Oh, strike that. Okay, somebody clearly wrote in something caustic on her lawn. Mr. Thompson, I believe that would be you.
No, ma'am.
Well, you see, that's my job, because I have to make a judgment whether this gentleman is making this up. Now, why don't I think he's making it up? I don't think he's making up that it happened, because clearly it happened.
Oh, it did happen. Not by me.
I don't think that she did it to herself. That didn't happen. I don't think that he did it. I don't even think that her son, when he wasn't in total control, did it. So, it was you. Maybe it was your 16-year-old son. Who knows? But whether it was you or your 16-year-old son, that's your responsibility. So somebody from your house did it, which was as juvenile as what was going on from her end.
But no, ma'am, we did not do it.
Well, you say no, I say yes. I have the last word because I'm the judge. That's what they pay me for. I also believe that Miss Staten threw something at your car. And she'll say she didn't do it. She'll say it didn't happen. And I'm telling her that I believe it did happen. I believe that the two of you acted like very bad neighbors, but I believe she started it. I believe that she's a snoop. I believe that she's a busybody. I believe that she probably didn't like the way renters were taking care of this house that was rented, all kinds of things, none of which is any of her busybody business. I'm not saying it's true, and I'm not saying she was right. I'm saying she's a big old busybody, and she's a big old pain in the neck. That's what Mom is, and that's why you left. She's a busybody who's got nothing else to do with her time but mind other people's businesses.
But
that is not a lawsuit.
But she harassed us. And
listen to me.
No, CPS coming over not once but twice, pulling our children out of school, checking their bodies.
Listen to me. You're absolutely right. She says, I was concerned over a 16-year-old.
No, she thought he was 13.
Pay careful attention to what I'm saying to you. You, A, have no proof that she called CPS twice. She acknowledged she called once, not twice. You have any proof she called twice? You have any proof she called twice? The answer is yes or no.
No.
All right. The fact that they took your children out of school is very unfortunate. She's a busybody. She's just been dressed down in front of 10 million people.
Yep.
And she had no right to do it. That is not actionable unless you can prove some sort of malice, which you cannot. And the way you respond to that is not bleaching her lawn.
We didn't
do
do that.
Okay, I find that you did. Did you move?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy?
Oh, yes.
Goodbye and good luck. Have a happy life. And Miss State, you're not always going to get neighbors that you like. Mind your own business. You're a big girl. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Tim McDonald says he incurred attorney fees as a result of false charges filed by Camille Raciniak and Michael Wahab. The couple claims Tim was driving like a maniac.
Mr. McDonald, it is your claim that the defendants filed false charges against you. I believe that the charges emanated from an instance of what we've come to call road rage that happened about a year ago.
That's correct.
The defendant said that you were acting erratically, that what they were trying to do was to secure your license plate number so that they could forward it to the police when this incident occurred. You didn't know each other prior to this incident, is that correct?
No. That's correct.
And you had a trial, Mr. McDonald?
Yes, I did.
And you were acquitted?
I was acquitted on all 3 charges in 37 minutes.
When was the incident?
October 24th, 2004 at 2 o'clock.
And what kind of car were you driving, sir?
I was driving a BMW Z3 convertible with the top down.
Do me a favor. Just let me ask the questions and try to give me just the answers that I need. Where were you going, Mr. McDonald?
I had seen an open house sign on a street called Edwards, and I was following an open house sign into a track that I had never been in.
Tell me what happened, Mr. McDonald.
Well, as I was going through the track, I realized that there was a car in front of me. It was driving in an erratic fashion. What I mean by that, it would slow down to about 5 miles an hour, speed up 6.
So listen to me. Don't interrupt him. You're going to have an opportunity to testify. Don't interrupt him. Sorry, ma'am. Go ahead.
All of a sudden, I see her kind of go to the right. And I took that as her politely moving off to the right to let me go by.
How many lanes of traffic were there?
This street is a little unusual, and I have a picture over here that I took. If I may move over here to show you. Back here is where I'm seeing all the information going.
I just want to know how large the street was, Mr. McDonald. So that's the street that it was on, so there can be a parked car on either side and 1 lane of traffic.
Easily.
4 car lanes.
Correct.
Keep going.
The minute I went by her car, she lays into the horn, honk, all the way around till I get in front. And I look in my rearview mirror, and simultaneously, I see both fingers go out the window on each side. So that kind of set the mood that was going on. And what I did is I gave a wave like this, my error. But I actually thought that was a polite movement on her in the very beginning. So as I go by, and I'm looking in my rear mirror, I see this go on, they make a left turn. I think, okay, that's the end of it. Instead, they flip the U-turn and now coming at me. They caught me at the stop sign, and his window's down. She pulls the car right up next to me to the left of my side, and there's nothing but screaming going on. So I looked at Miss Rosnick, and I said, "You're driving like an idiot." And then I turned right, they turned left. I thought that was the end of it. Nope. So I'm going down the street here, and as I go down the street, the road, as it shows, veers off to the left. As soon as I got around that corner, they're right back on my butt again. Now the problem is, I have them, having gone off to the left, time's taken, and I think they've got a weapon with them. They're staying between a half a car length and a car length behind my car.
How fast were you going, Mr. McDonald, at this point?
Probably about 25, 30 at the most.
Did you ever accelerate beyond 25 to
Yes,
30
I did.
miles? When?
When we came down the long street after they'd interrogated me, I spotted people at the very end of the block. I mean, it's like the movie Duel, where I've got these people just bearing down on me. I don't know what they have in their possession.
What kind of car were they driving?
A white Malibu, I think is what it was, like a
Okay.
mid-sized car. So they're behind me. I see people down at the end of the road. I accelerate and pull immediately in front of their house.
Uncross your hands.
At the exact moment that I'm pulling over and I get out of my car to yell to somebody to call the police, Miss Resnick takes her car and pulls in front in a wedge fashion.
Okay. So she parks and blocks you.
Correct. And all this whole thing that's going on is predicated on one idea that you said. They wanted to get my license plate. And I can show 15 different times that they could have. The truth meant, sure.
Life has a rhythm to it. There are certain things that are common sense, and there are certain things that are not. You don't have to fill in the blanks for me.
Okay.
If I need for you to fill in the blanks, Mr. McDonald, I'll ask you.
Okay.
Keep going.
So as soon as I get out of the car, she pulls the car over, he jumps out of the car and immediately starts coming toward me. Now at this point, I take a step toward him, and I say, in the best voice I can, "Get back in your car!"
Okay.
"Get back in your car!" And it worked. He turned around right there, but Miss Resnick didn't leave it there. She puts her car in reverse. Your Honor, I have the transcripts of the court proceeding. I have it on audio, and I would appreciate to be able to at least play a couple tracks to give you a flavor of what happened.
She put the car in reverse.
Correct.
Go ahead.
And as she put the car in reverse, Mr. Wahab goes back to...
Mr. Wahab. Mr. Wahab.
Sorry.
You have problem controlling yourself,
No,
sir?
I don't, Your Honor.
You have problem controlling your temper, sir?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Well, it sounds to me as if you do, sir. You don't want to create that kind of impression, do you?
No, I don't.
You see, you've already done it. You only have one chance to make a first impression, Mr. Wahab.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've made a bad one so far.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Mr. Wahab gets out of the car. I tell him to go back. He gets back in the
You
car.
told me that already.
As Miss Resnick's backing the car up, he jumps in the car, shuts the door, and you think it would end there. No. She keeps the car coming right back at me. I move out of the way, and just like she did at the stop sign, she stops his car door right here, the window's down, and I said, "Get out of here!" Now, let me back up a minute.
When you said get out of here,
Sure.
you made a slapping or punching motion.
Correct.
You hit the car.
Correct.
Did you hit it with your fist, with your hand? Did you kick
Open
it?
right hand.
Okay. Did you kick the car at all?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And then what happened?
So I hit it 3 times, "Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here." And as I'm saying that, I see Mr. Wahab either rearing back, like he was going to go back and kick me through the window, which I can't believe could be true,
Fine.
or...
Well, you don't know. Don't speculate.
Okay, well, I see something coming at me. And as I lean back to deflect it, she has the car in drive, and they take off.
Okay.
But they don't. She flips the car around and U-turns. Stops again.
gosh.
Just on the other side of the road. He pops back out again. I say, "Get back in that car." He gets back in the car instantly. She takes off again. But that's not it. She goes forward again. She stops again. He pops out of the car, but this time, there's a guy that was standing on the other side. A lot of people were evidently watching this thing. He goes over to Mr. Wahab, puts his hand on his shoulder and said, "It's not worth it, it's not worth it." Now, here's what I know.
Don't tell me what you know.
This is what I was
Do you have-
thinking.
I don't care what you were thinking.
Okay? I left.
You left. Fine. Do you have a copy of the police report
Yes, I do.
that Ms. Rusniak and Mr. Wahab filed?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please. Now, you were subsequently arrested, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
What were you charged with, sir?
I was charged with 242 battery of Mr. Wobb, disturbing the peace, challenging to fight against Mr. Wobb, and then vandalism, property, crime against Ms. Brusnick.
Who's going to speak for you? Both of you to start? Go ahead.
First, I would like to say that this man put my life in jeopardy. He really
No, you
did.
put your life in jeopardy. You put your life in jeopardy. I'm going to tell you why you put your life in jeopardy. Because according to what I read in the police report, your statement, you felt as if this man was driving too fast in a residential street. So you decided to try to get his license plate.
That's not all it was.
That's the reason, because there had been no altercation up until that time.
Actually, there was.
Oh, you explain that to me.
Well, as you see the street here, I live on not this street that's cut off, but the one in front of the Suburban right there.
So?
That's my street. I was turning left onto that street.
So?
He almost caused me to have an accident. He went around me on the left-hand side as I was making my
He was
left-hand
driving, I said, he was driving erratically, and you said he put your life at risk. You put your life at risk.
I admit, I should have never followed him, and I will never do it again.
That's right.
I learned my lesson on that
That's
one.
right.
But he did physically assault me
Listen to me
and my boyfriend.
Listen to me very carefully. You got hot, and you did a very dumb thing. You followed him, and you chased him several times.
I never...
Yes, you did. You followed him in order to, according to you, get his license plate number. But these are your statements, not mine. You told the police that she was so offended by this vehicle's unsafe driving that they made a U-turn and then made a U-turn back to attempt to get his license plate number of the vehicle to report it to the police. They said they pulled up alongside the vehicle at a stop sign. Well, what'd you do that for? You wanted to get his license plate number, and call the police, but that's not what you did. And asked him why he was driving so recklessly. So let me figure this out. You were very offended by the way he was driving. You made 2 U-turns in order to catch up with him. That's what you told the police, unless you say the police are lying. And you didn't get his license plate, but you pulled up to him and, according to you, said to him in a calm way, "Why are you driving so recklessly?" Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
No.
Do you know how ridiculous? I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying to you that somewhere between what you're going to tell me and what he told me is the truth. That's probably why the jury acquitted him. Now, who are you? You are 2 people. He's 1 person in a car. He doesn't know who you are. He doesn't know whether you have good intentions, bad intentions. He has no clue. All he knows is, according to you, you have turned around and followed him on at least 3 occasions. And at that point, you are 2 nuts following him, and he doesn't know what you have in mind. So now what you're complaining about is that he dented your car. I would have hit your car. I would have taken a brick and thrown it through the windshield if 2 people were following me over a dissing incident.
That's not what it was about in the least.
Well, that's what it was about, madam. If you didn't get the license plate number calmly and call the police, you had a cell phone.
No, I didn't.
we did not have a cell phone.
Oh, and you had no pen?
No.
No,
we
I did have a pen, but we were unable to get his license plate number.
He was driving too
and my
fast.
first intention was not to get his
He
license
had
plate number.
pulled over and stopped.
Your Honor, I can prove that they have a cell phone. I can prove it without a doubt.
How can you prove that?
I wasn't on the cell phone up until the point where I tried to call the police, sir.
Oh, madam, are you telling me that you just lied to me when you said you didn't? I'm speaking. Are you telling me that you just lied to me when you said I didn't have a cell phone?
We don't have a cell phone on us.
Where was the cell phone?
At my house.
At the house.
Just a second. You say you can show me that she had a cell phone in the car?
What they forgot was that they had called 911 from the cell phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
prove it.
Let me see.
No, I did call...
Mr. Wahab, let me explain to you twice now what you did, sir. You showed me that you cannot control your temper.
I
2
can
times.
control my temper, Your Honor.
2 times in a courtroom. So if you can't control yourself in a courtroom, what are you doing out in the street when somebody drives by and flips off your girlfriend? Ooh. You have something that's going to show me that they had a cell phone?
Correct.
Show me.
I also have audio tape of the transcripts.
Okay, what kind of car was it? It was a convertible red BMW 2-door.
And it was a male driver? Yes. He has some issues. Okay, what's the cell phone number you're calling from? 714. Okay.
Two things I'll show, Your Honor, if I may.
But just one second. Mr.
Sure.
McDonald, that doesn't demonstrate to me that they had a phone in the car.
No, I'm sorry, but I actually have her statement in court saying that she called on the way back to the house.
Let me see. I'd like to see that.
And I also have the certified copy of the transcripts complete.
He said that we pulled over to a red curb on the street. There's no red curb on that street,
Mr.
though.
Wahab, we're not talking about red curb,
I'm sorry.
sir. The first thing
I don't even know why I'm here today.
Just a second. Well, look at me, and I'm going to tell you. You're here today because he's suing you.
Yeah, obviously.
He's suing you, and one of the things that surprised me about Ms. Rusniak's call to the police is her statement to the police, which I believe said something, and I'm paraphrasing, the guy's got some serious issues. Well, I want to tell you something. If somebody had just assaulted my passenger, as you claim, I wouldn't have said this guy in a BMW had some serious issues. I would have said this guy driving erratically has just assaulted my passenger. He kicked and punched my car. Something is clearly wrong with him. Not in a almost lackadaisical way. I'm speaking. Almost, we can hear it again. Almost lackadaisical way. You're reporting that this guy's got some issues.
The operator never let us finish our statement.
Let me tell you something. I heard this very, very clearly. Nobody cut you off.
No.
Nobody cut you off.
He didn't play the whole tape.
You know when I said to you before, life has a rhythm, and if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. Somebody comes into my middle of the night, takes a knife and puts it to my throat, and assaults me. While they're leaving, they steal a teacup. When I call 911, I don't say somebody just came into my house and stole a teacup. I say someone came into my house, put a knife to my throat, and assaulted me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes,
I heard him in the background.
He was freaking out, and I was trying to be the calm one.
I heard him in the background. All right, let me see where you say she had the cell phone in the car.
Page 31, line 8
Okay.
in the transcript. I have the excerpts, and then I have, and that's a certified transcript.
Now, Mr. McDonald, you think I'm finished with you? I haven't started with you yet.
Okay.
Because I can tell what happened here. Anybody who's lived as long as I have knows exactly what happened.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm not sure you weren't behaving a little erratically, and I'm not sure you didn't lose your temper and didn't use a lot of foul language.
I don't use foul language at all, Your Honor. Not at all.
Not according to the witnesses, sir. According to the witnesses, they say that you were using a little foul language.
That's where
That may be.
That's where it fell apart in court. They never showed up.
Well, they may not have showed up for whatever reason, but that's what the witnesses said initially when they spoke to the police, whether they didn't want to get involved, whether they were neighbors, who knows. Page what?
Page 31, I believe it was line 8.
It's what you said, my dear. I'm going to read it to you. You backed up to help your boyfriend get into the car quicker, right? Yes. And then you leave. Yes. Okay, and you don't see the BMW anymore, correct? Not after I drove off. Okay, do you remember when you called 911? Yes, it was right as I was driving away.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, because...
Well, that's what it says. Now, I would assume that the trial of this case, you remember things more clearly than you do today because it was closer in time to the event. Aside from the fact it doesn't make sense. Everybody keeps their cell phone in a car. So the fact that you say to me I didn't have my cell phone in the car was a crock. How much did this whole escapade cost you, Mr. McDonald?
He was able to do it for $3,500 as long as I supplied him with all the information.
But in court, you said that you got acquitted in 37 minutes. We were there.
No, it doesn't matter. It also, you said
Listen
that you
to
never
me.
touched my...
Third time, you couldn't control yourself. Not the first, not the second. Third time, you couldn't control yourself. So you can't control yourself, and she doesn't know how to tell the truth. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
And, Your Honor, you're
Step
aware
out.
that I have judgments against each of it individually, correct?
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's it.
Charlene Juergen says Ex-boyfriend Colin Hager owes for a burglary, an assault, and a loan for bail.
All right, Ms. Jergens, you and the defendant used to have a romantic relationship, and according to your complaint, something happened a year ago that caused all kinds of problems. There was a freeway altercation between the two of you. You claim he assaulted you, then he was arrested. Then you decided that you would help him out by bailing him out. You obligated yourself to a bail bondsman. You claim he owes you money for that. You claim he owes you money for the assault. You claim he owes you money for going into your apartment at some time subsequent to this altercation and ruining your property. Mr. Hager has a whole different interpretation of what happened on the freeway about a year ago. He says that you actually stole money from him, that you're not obligated to the bail bondsman. He's obligated to the bail bondsman. He's going to have an opportunity to tell me, but you're no longer in love?
No.
Absolutely not.
You don't see each other anymore?
No way.
No.
Perfect. So, tell me what happened a year ago, Ms. Jergens.
I was in a violent relationship, so I moved out of my county to a different county, and he followed me down there. He learned where I lived.
Look at me. Don't look down there.
And he showed up and broke into my bathroom window, and he...
Were you home during all this time?
No, I was not home.
Just a second. You have any proof that he burglarized your house?
No. I have a police report of the robbery.
That you reported?
Yes, I did report it.
I can make a report. I can make a report that he burglarized my house.
He admitted he went through my bathroom window on the police report.
What date?
On November 25th of 2004, he admitted on his police report to the police in San Diego that he went through my bathroom window.
Okay, let me see that.
Didn't know.
Because November 25th, 2004 is the same day as this freeway altercation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see the report where he admits that.
I never even spoke to the police. Shh.
Just a second. Would you have her point out where he says window? Just circle it. Circle where he admits to the police that he went into your bathroom window.
He returned and climbed through my bathroom window.
That's you telling the police. You said he admitted to the police that he went through my bathroom window. I said, show me in the report.
Perhaps he admitted it to me.
All right. Would you get to the freeway, please? What happened on the freeway?
Well, I left my home because I didn't want any problems at my home. So I got in my car and I was traveling to my friend's house, and his car chased me, and I thought I should go right to the police department. And he followed me, and then he ran me off the road in front of an office, and the lady came out and dialed 911.
Keep going.
I couldn't call 911 because he was reaching in my window to steal my cell phone.
Keep going.
He hit my rental car, and then he sped off.
Keep going.
So basically, that's hit and run. The police arrived, took my statement, and they went to track him for the robbery and the damages to the car.
Keep going.
They found him, and they arrested him. He said he had a drink and a lost phone, and he was crying and upset.
Let's get to the bail, Miss Jergens, please.
He was arrested in San Diego. He knew my home phone number, so he called collect, and he promised to pay for those collect calls.
Just a second. He called collect, and the operator said, I have Mr. Hager on the phone, and you said, I'll accept the charges.
Not the first time.
I don't care if it's the first time or the 100th time.
Eventually, I took the call.
And what happened when you took the call?
He was upset and crying and promising me that he would quit using drugs and he would go to AA and never drink again. Please help me get out. My family won't help me. My sister won't bail me out. Only you can help me out.
So?
I hung up on him and I called my lawyer.
About what?
I said my ex-boyfriend was arrested and he's asking me to bail him out. And my attorney said, well, that's a great idea because then you can bring him to us and we can get a retainer. So bail him out, sign for his release.
You think I believe that? You think I believe what you just told me? You think Bird believes what you just told me? That you calling your lawyer and you said, my ex-boyfriend who beat me up, who I moved from one county to another county to get away from, just called me up to bail him out of jail because after he burglarized my house, assaulted me, chased me down the freeway, damaged my rental car, tried to steal my cell phone. After all of that, wants me to bail him out. And your lawyer said to you, that sounds like a great idea. Why don't you do that and we can get a retainer from him and then we'll all be one happy family. So you went and bailed him out and put down with the bail bondsman how much?
I didn't put any monies down. I just signed for his release as my attorney told me to do so.
So they let him out because you promised to pay?
He promised.
So what are you suing him for bail for?
I have a promissory note that he promised to pay and he's never paid.
Well, what does that have to do with you? If you just said you're not obligated to pay the bail, what is the promise? You're suing on behalf of the bail bondsman?
The bail bondsman is suing me for the amount of $2,500 for
Show me that the bail bondsman is suing you. Well, they're not suing you. They said if this matter is not resolved, they're going to send this to a collection agency. Tell them to sue you. All right. Tell me this story about what happened, Miss Juergens, when you signed him out and took him to your lawyer. Tell me what happened.
My lawyers had him sign a retainer and they made $8,000 off of him.
Yes.
Then they called him and said, why haven't you paid that bail bond? It's going to collections. Pay it. And he promised.
Just a minute. Why would you take him to your lawyer? Because this man who you fled from one county to another to get away from, who just burglarized your house, assaulted you in your home, battered your car, almost killed you on a freeway, why would you take him to your lawyer?
To get him out of my county of San Diego and put him back in Orange County and let my lawyers handle it.
How many lawyers are there in Orange County?
About 1 million.
Right. And according to you, we paid your lawyer $8,000. I guarantee you, another half dozen of the 1 million lawyers in Orange County would have taken the case for $8,000. So why you chose to take him to your lawyer? The whole story is so bizarre. And if the story is so bizarre, and if it doesn't make sense, it didn't happen that way. All right, Mr. Hager, I've listened to the fairy tale on this side. You want to tell me your side of this fairy tale?
What really happened was she took off with my phone after coming to my hotel room.
Where was your hotel?
San Diego, Mission Bay.
What were you doing?
They're like getting ready to go to SeaWorld.
You were getting ready to go to SeaWorld?
Yeah.
Who were you going to SeaWorld with?
I was going to go to SeaWorld with my daughter.
Was your daughter with you?
No, she wasn't at the time.
Where does she live?
She lives down in Costa Mesa.
Listen, Mr. Hager,
Yeah.
you're always going to get tripped up on a little detail.
Yeah.
Because they make up a story as they're going. Do you understand?
Oh, I'm not making it up.
Oh. What were you doing in a hotel room, and what was she doing in your hotel room while you're getting ready to take your daughter to see the sea lions?
My daughter wasn't with me at the time. She was in Oceanside visiting her cousins. Charlene came down there because she had to see me.
Just a second. How did she know you were there, sir?
She called me.
On your cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay. And you told her, I'm here. Did you tell her before or after you arrived?
After I arrived, I believe.
And she came to your hotel?
Yeah.
What's the name of the hotel?
I think it was the Hilton.
Paid by credit card or cash?
Credit card, I believe.
And you registered there in your own name?
Yes, yes.
Why do you hesitate?
Well, I have trouble with remembering details. Yes.
Well, I mean, it would be a simple thing. Somebody said, did you register there in your own name? I said, of course.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, Do you know what I'm saying, Mr. Hager?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
It's the little details that are going to trip you up if I don't get an accurate story from you.
Okay.
Or as close to accurate in this fantasy that I want to get.
All right.
So she came to your hotel?
Yes.
For what purpose?
To talk.
About what?
About a relationship, and also to try and talk me into like backing off on some of the accusations and charges I had against her.
For what?
Battery, robbery, all kinds of stuff.
Were there criminal charges pending against her at the time?
Yes.
Is that true, Miss Juergens?
1, assault. Robbery is false.
So at the time you went to his hotel, there was a current criminal action pending against you?
Yes.
Well, at least I got you in his hotel. That's different from the bathroom in your house. Now, according to you, she left your hotel with your cell phone. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that's why you followed her on the freeway.
Yes.
Did you pay the bail bondsman, sir?
Yes, I paid him everything up to about $2,500.
Did you pay her lawyer any money?
Yeah, and quite a lot of money. In fact, I paid her bill for the lawyer too.
You did?
Oh yeah, I have the receipt right here.
How much did you pay her lawyer?
$1,250 on one count, and then I paid $2,500 on another count.
What made you so magnanimous?
Well, you know, she kept telling me that we could work things out and she loved me and stuff like that.
Were those criminal charges subsequently dropped, Miss Juergens?
No, they weren't.
Did that case go to trial?
It did not. I changed my not guilty plea.
To a guilty plea?
Yeah, after 11 months.
What was your sentence?
Time served.
How long had you been incarcerated?
48 days.
What was the nature of the assault that you pled guilty to?
He alleged that I scratched him and assaulted him and battered him.
Is that right, Mr. Hager?
Yeah, I have the report with the 5 stitches that I had, if you'd like to see that.
I would. So I am correct in the time sequence in this case.
Right.
Your allegations, Ms. Juergens, that he assaulted you after he crawled through the bathroom window, and that's when you took off down the freeway. That police report was made after you were under indictment for assault. Is that right?
I was fighting my alleged charge.
Correct. Well, the alleged charge. It's no longer an alleged charge. It's a conviction.
Now it is.
How come you didn't tell me you were in his hotel room until I got the information a different way?
You didn't ask, and he asked me to go. He invited me.
This is the same man, Miss Juergens, who you fled from one county to another to escape. You went to his hotel room alone? Goodbye, Miss Juergens. I'm totally disinterested in your lawsuit. You have no case. That's all. Goodbye.
Alan Calderon says ex-wife Linda Calderon made unauthorized charges on his credit card.
Mr. Calderon, this is your former wife, according to your complaint to your divorce. When all matters of finances had been resolved, your wife used a credit card that was in your name without your authorization. And it was a gas credit card. And according to you, in a very short period of time, a few days, she ran up a bill of well over $500. You want to be compensated for that. Ms. Calderon states in her answer that she believed that you left this card open for her because you were being a nice guy and you knew that she was struggling financially. Of course, you say that when you confronted her with that, her reaction was somewhat different. Can I see a copy of your judgment of divorce, please?
Yes.
You were married for 25 years?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Is that right? And you have kids?
Yes.
How many children?
2.
Grown?
Yes.
It is clear from the judgment of divorce that any and all liabilities incurred after December 14th of 2004 belong to each of you separately. Now, when were these credit card bills made?
October 13th through the 19th.
Of 2005?
Of 2005. I have a
Can I see them, please? How did you become aware of them, sir?
I have received a letter of address change, and I knew that I had not changed my address. I didn't even know the credit card existed. And when I called them, they told me that I had requested to change my address, and I thought that there was something wrong with that and asked if there was any charges on the account.
Okay, Ms. Calderon, the ball is in your court. Explain it to me, please.
Basically, the reason that I was in the situation I was in is because I was so heavily in debt and destroyed from what he had done to me from this divorce, because he knew that last year when my daughter graduated high school, my oldest daughter graduated college, and my oldest daughter got married, that I had put a lot of money into that. And
this has nothing to do
well,
with that.
but this is why I was.
Calderon,
this is why.
This has nothing to do with that. This is not.
I would have never used it though.
This is not even a large amount of money. We're talking about a gas credit card where it's clear you allowed someone else to use this gas credit card.
I got gas for my kids. We were all struggling. He destroyed us all.
Just a second. In 4 days, you got gas for your children. You have 2 children and yourself.
Right.
You filled up the cars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what's $98.20. That's not a car fill-up. Or $83.
Or a case of oil.
A case of oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. Let us assume 3 people's cars, 13 times in a 4-day period. So, Ms. Calderon, don't play with me. This is not because you needed money.
Yes, it was.
When you enter into an agreement, and I assume that this was your agreement, it looks as if it was boilerplate clauses. You agreed that after December of 2004, you would not make any debts for the other party. You chose not to do that.
His friend told my daughter that he left the card open for me to use because he felt sorry for me because he knew how hard of a time I was having.
Oh, okay, well, that's a different story. Is that person here today?
Yes.
Step up, sir. Tell me your name.
David Dover.
Mr. Dover, did you ever tell Mr. Calderon's daughter that this credit card was left open?
No, ma'am. I never knew the card existed. I never knew anything about it.
Step up. You're the daughter?
Yes.
Your name?
Angela Schubert.
Angela, tell me about this alleged conversation.
We were going to dinner for my birthday. I was sitting in front, and we had just found out I was pregnant that day. It was August 18th. We picked up my dad from work, and we work at, well, it was before we picked him up for work. And we were just talking about the divorce. You know, I was trying to get to know him since, you know, he lives with my dad now. And he just happened to say, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom. Because we didn't know, because all the gas cards were closed.
Let me ask you this question. Somebody must have been complaining about money.
No.
So, because the statement that you ascribed to this gentleman, well, this is what you said, well, your dad did leave a gas card open for your mom.
We were talking
is
about,
always a response to something said to him.
We were talking about how hard it was for everyone in the divorce, and how it happened. We were talking about how hard it was. And he said, well, you know, your dad left a gas card open for your mom, and, you know, to help her out a little bit.
And you went back and told her, shh.
I didn't tell her right away.
You didn't tell her right away. When did you tell her?
Maybe a week, week and a half, 2 weeks tops.
Okay, so a week and a half, 2 weeks tops, you tell your mother. And your mother didn't have this credit card.
Yes, I do.
Just a second. You didn't have it. According to you, you found it. Listen to me. You found it. When did you find it?
I wasn't trying to use any of the credit cards.
When did you find it?
When she told me he left it open for me and we were having such a hard time.
Well, did you call him and say...
I can't. We don't communicate.
What do you mean? You don't have the telephone?
He communicates through the kids.
Before I would extend his credit based upon hearsay, I would have picked up a telephone or sent him a note. Is it true that I can use this credit card? I certainly would have at least, if I believed that it was true that he held open this credit card, Miss Calderon, I would have tried it for 1 month. He would have gotten the bill and he would have said, well, I have a $40 bill for gas. I wonder what this is from. But you didn't do that. You charged $500 worth of gas in 4 days. And then, according to your former husband, when he confronted you, because you did call her.
I actually contacted her via email. I don't call her. I had to change my number so many times.
Fine. So you didn't?
But I did contact her.
And what was her response?
She said that go ahead and prosecute her. It would be well worth it for the look on my face.
Can I see it, please?
I was shocked that he wanted to prosecute me.
Well, this email acknowledges, Miss Calderon, that you used this card, but you said, I figured I'd be able to make payments just like you would.
If he had a problem with what I got. But I got things to help us because I knew how he always tries to make himself appear to be generous, but his MO is not generosity. And
Listen to me, he doesn't have to be generous with you anymore.
He has never been generous with
Miss Calderon, then you stayed with somebody for 25 years who wasn't generous. You're divorced now. And what you have to do is you have to put a period and move forward. The economics of divorce is never easy. When you try to run 2 households on the same salaries that you were using to support 1 household, That's never easy for anybody. But what you cannot do is, you cannot say, I have a contract, and I'm not satisfied with the terms of the contract, so I can, because of necessity, because I was married to him for 25 years, because we have children together, they have needs, whatever, I'm going to extend his credit. You can't do that.
I still am in shock that he's done what he's done to us.
Listen to me.
And
You're shocked.
I never thought he was that cold-blooded, and I still can't believe it.
The retaliation was not to use a credit card.
I didn't do it in retaliation.
Well, then you got to pay it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $507. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker is suing her daughter, 20-year-old Heather Huddleston, for stealing and pawning her wedding rings. Heather claims she had her mother's permission.
Ms. Schoonmaker, this young lady is your daughter, and according to your complaint, she owes you some money. She owes you some money because, as a result, according to you, of her drug abuse, she fell behind in her rent. She and her boyfriend, and she came to you for money, and you gave her jewelry to pawn. She pawned the jewelry. She was supposed to get it out. She didn't. You lost the jewelry. You want the money. Is that right?
Well, she also stole my wedding rings out of my jewelry box and pawned them without my knowledge.
For how long has your daughter had a drug problem?
I didn't know that she had one. She told me it was her boyfriend.
When she came to you and asked for money, she told you that the boyfriend had a drug problem?
She said that he was spending money on things he shouldn't and stuff like that.
So then why in the world would you give her jewelry to pawn?
I gave it to her so she would have a place to live. I didn't want her...
Why couldn't she come home?
I have other children that I don't want exposed to the lifestyle that she was doing.
Well, just a second. I thought you said there was nothing wrong with her lifestyle. It was the boyfriend.
And I don't know what her lifestyle was. I know that she was spending money and doing things that she should not be doing.
Then you
That's the reason that
you
she
shouldn't
left.
have given her your jewelry.
You're right.
So then what are you doing in court?
I'm doing it in court because she stole rings from my jewelry box that I had no knowledge of.
I want you to forget about the pawn jewelry.
Right.
And I think that you knew what her lifestyle was, and that if you gave her jewelry to pawn, there was no legitimate expectation of you getting this money back, because drug abusers don't return money. Drug abusers put money in their arms or up their noses. Right, Miss Huddleston?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mother says that after she gave you this jewelry to pawn, which you did, you stole some property from her. Did you?
That's not true.
Well, tell me about these wedding rings that she said that you took.
The wedding rings she never wore, and I came upon a time when I needed money for rent, and she told me to go ahead and take the jewelry out of her jewelry box, the wedding rings, to pawn them so I could pay rent, because she never wore them. She hasn't worn them in 5 years.
That's not true.
What other jewelry did she give you?
Previously, she had given me a bag of gold necklaces and a ring that my grandmother had given her. She offered it. I never asked her for money. I told her that I was having problems, and she offered it to me.
That's not true.
What kind of drugs were you or are you involved with?
I was smoking marijuana, and she knew.
And the boyfriend?
Anything and everything.
But not you?
The only thing I ever did was marijuana.
Susan Jane Schoonmaker says her daughter, Heather Huddleston, stole her wedding rings and pawned them.
Still with the boyfriend?
Nope.
Who do you live with now?
I live with friends in Arizona.
Do you work?
Not yet. I'm a student.
You're a student where?
At massage therapy school.
Who pays for it?
I got a grant.
Pays for your living expenses?
I do.
From what?
I have money.
From what?
Doing various jobs. I clean houses and babysit.
Oh, what a bunch of baloney. What a bunch of baloney.
It's true.
My dear Miss Huddleston, you wouldn't know the truth if it came up and cracked you in the face. The wedding rings, when did you find out that they were missing?
When I always go into my jewelry box because I keep my earrings and everything in there. I wasn't wearing the rings because one of the diamonds was loose.
Don't tell me when you weren't wearing them. You weren't wearing them.
I wasn't wearing them, and they were gone. I called her at school. She was going to massage therapy school at the time when this happened, and I said, my wedding rings are gone. Do you know where they are? Have you done? She goes, no, I don't know, but when I come home, I will help you find them. And she came home, and I sat her down, and I said, I'm calling the police. And once the police are involved, if you're involved, you're going to jail because I can't stop it. And she said she took them, and she pawned them, and she thought she could get them back in my jewelry box before I noticed.
That's what drug addicts do.
I know.
Not casual marijuana smokers. How much were the wedding rings pawned for?
$150.
Did you go to the pawn shop to try to get them back?
I didn't know what pawn shop it was, and her boyfriend called me and told me after she left him, for no reason, he didn't even know that she had left him, that he went down to the pawn shop because that's where he gave her the money to go down and pick them up and bring them to me. She told me she was on her way to my house to do laundry and bring me my rings and never showed up. And this is the first time I've seen her since then. The pawn shop had sold all the rings a while ago. A guy that she met on the internet.
One guy? Or
One
friend?
guy with his old girlfriend and his baby.
How old is she?
She'll be 21 in December. I've tried to help her. I don't know how else to help her. And I feel like she needs to start paying for the things that she's doing. And I just thought here at least she would start seeing what her actions are going to start becoming. They're going to get worse. I don't want to have to pick her up in jail. And I won't.
Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you're ready to turn your life around.
That's what I'm hoping.
When did she leave home?
She left home when she was 19.
You go to live with this boyfriend?
She knew him a week and left.
Who else lives at home with you?
My 17-year-old daughter, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 10-year-old son.
You know what these rings were appraised for that she took?
I went in and I got an estimate on what it would cost to replace all of the rings.
Not all the rings.
No, I know, but it has just them separated. My wedding ring and my engagement ring set is on here. $28.99 for the engagement ring and $880 for the wedding ring.
Are you still married to the man who gave you the rings?
Yes, I am. We've lived together for 16 years.
He's not her father?
He's not her father. But you'd never know the difference.
Anything you want to say?
She told me that those rings were remnants of an unhappy marriage and that she was happy to get rid of them. And that's why she let me pawn them. And I
never said that.
I just think it's really funny, you know, she was helping me out, and now because she's getting in trouble from my stepdad and my grandma, she's got to turn around and blame it on me, and I just don't think that's fair.
What do you think is fair?
I didn't do anything wrong. She gave it to me.
You did do something wrong. You came to your mother and you said, I got a drug addict boyfriend, I'm behind in the rent, you were living a lifestyle that was inappropriate, and you came to your mother, who clearly is not a rich lady, because if she was a rich lady, she would have had the money to give you for the rent. She didn't, so all she had was this bag of jewelry, and you're a big girl. You chose to be a big girl. You chose to move out of your house and live on your own.
I never asked her to help me. She offered to help.
How would she know that you needed anything unless you came to her and said, I don't have rent? Listen to me. How would she know that you needed money unless you came to her and told her that you didn't have rent money?
Because I came over one day and I was upset. And like any caring mother would, she asked what was wrong. At least I thought she was caring. Sorry.
You got to do the right thing. You still have time. If you continue to make bad choices in your life, you know what's going to happen. You're going to end up being, instead of a 20-year-old bum, a 40-year-old bum. If you lie down with dirt, you get dirty. Did you ever hear that expression? Did anybody say anything like that to you? If you lie down in dirt, you're going to get dirty. And it sounds to me like you went from the frying pan into the fire. It's not too late. You're still a young girl. But you better start making right choices. Because if you don't make right choices, you're going to end up a 40-year-old dirty girl instead of a 20-year-old dirty girl. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सामीन कराम, जैसा कि सामान वाला की जानिब से हम दोबारा एक डील लेकर आपके पास आए हैं। इस टाइम हम आपको 50% ऑफ दे रहे हैं और एक स्पेशल चीज़ जो मैं आपको एक सरप्राइज़ देने वाला हूँ वो आपको लास्ट में बताऊँगा। एक स्पेशल सरप्राइज़ आप लोगों के लिए मेरे पास है। फिर वक्त मैं बताता हूँ, मैं 50% डील पे आज आया हूँ। जैसे स्कॉच ब्राइट है मेरे पास, ये तकरीबन जो है आपको 70 रुपये का मिलेगा आपको मार्केट से, हम आपको 40 रुपीज़ में देंगे। लेकिन हमारे पास एक बंडल है तो तकरीबन आपको 2000 से 2500 के दरमियान बंडल मिलेगा। लेकिन अगर आप वो मार्केट प्राइस अगर आप लेंगे उससे मज़ा नहीं आ रहा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सामान वाला की अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सामान वाला ट्रेडर्स की जानिब से दोबारा हाजिर हूँ मैं, और आज मैं आपके लिए लाया हूँ 50% ऑफ़ की डील और एक स्पेशल सरप्राइज़ है आप लोगों के लिए जो मैं आपको लास्ट में बताऊँगा। फिलहाल मैं बताता हूँ कि 50% ऑफ़ की डील लाया हूँ हाउस होल्ड और पर्सनल केयर में। अगर आप कोई प्रोडक्ट मंथली पैकेज लेते हैं, वहाँ से मंथली पैकेज मार्केट से परचेज़ करते हैं, तो जो चीज़ आपको 5000 की मिलेगी वो हमको 2500 यानी 2500 रुपये में ऑफ़र कर रहे हैं। तो हमारे इस तरह के 3-4 बंडल्स हैं, मंथली फैमिली ऑफ़र और इसके अलावा चूज़ इस तरह के आपको हम 3-4 पैकेज ऑफ़र कर रहे हैं, 3-4 बकेट ऑफ़र कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हम आपको मार्केट प्राइस से 50% ऑफ में चीज़ें देंगे। जो चीज़ें आप ख़रीदेंगे मार्केट से तकरीबन 5000 का, वो हम आपको 2500 में देंगे। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हमारे पास 3 बंडल, जिस तरह 3 हमारे पास इस तरह के 3 अलग अलग बकेट्स हैं, जिसमें हम आपको तकरीबन 10 से 15 आइटम प्रोवाइड करेंगे। तो इसमें हमारा जो पहला है चूज़ एनी 10 या चूज़ एनी 15 आइटम, वो आपको हम एक लिस्ट देंगे व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर, जिसमें हम तमाम चीज़ें आपको पिक्चर के साथ, प्राइस के साथ प्रोवाइड करेंगे। आप उसमें से खुद सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि आपको कौन से 15 प्रोडक्ट चाहिए। इसके अलावा हमारी दूसरी मंथली है, जिसमें पर्सनल केयर और हाउस होल्ड तमाम चीज़ें मौजूद हैं। इसमें जो आपको चूज़ एनी 15 है, उसमें भी आपको हाउस होल्ड और पर्सनल केयर सब मिल जाएगा। फॉर एग्जांपल मैं आपको कुछ चीज़ों को इंट्रोड्यूस करा दूँ, जैसे हेयर रिमूवर साशे है, इसकी प्राइस मार्केट में 40 रुपीज़ है और इसमें मेंशन भी है। ये देखिए आप ऊपर अगर आपको दिखे तो ये 40 रुपीज़ मेंशन है, ये आपको हम सिर्फ 20 रुपीज़ उस बंडल में देंगे। ये प्लस ये हमारे पास एक सोप है जिसकी प्राइस 50 रुपये मार्केट में है, हम आपको इसको 20 रुपये में आपको प्रोवाइड करेंगे। ये स्कॉच ब्राइट है, स्कॉच ब्राइट की प्राइस वही मार्केट में 60 रुपये है तकरीबन, हम आपको ये 30 रुपीज़ या 40 रुपीज़ में प्रोवाइड करेंगे उस बकेट के अंदर। ये हाइजीन है बॉडी रेज़र, ये तकरीबन अभी 50 रुपीज़ या 40 रुपीज़ की सेल हो रही है मार्केट में, तो ये बकेट में आपको 20 रुपीज़ का मिलेगा। इस तरह बेबी निपल्स हैं, इसके अलावा ब्रश हैं, बच्चों के ब्रश हैं, ये देखें बच्चों के ब्रश हैं, बड़ों के ब्रश हैं, जिसकी प्राइस अभी मार्केट में 200 है, वो आपको 100 में प्रोवाइड करेंगे। तो हमारे बकेट में आपको हर आइटम जो मार्केट की प्राइस से 50% ऑफ में मिलेगा। तो हम आपको अपनी तमाम व्हाट्सअप की डिटेल देंगे, इसमें नंबर भी मेंशन करेंगे व्हाट्सअप का, आप उसमें जा कर के हमसे तमाम प्रोडक्ट देख भी सकते हैं, हमारी लिस्ट भी देख सकते हैं, और आपको जो चीज़ प्रोडक्ट अपने बकेट में शामिल करवाना हो, ऐड करवाना हो या सब्सट्रैक्ट करवाना हो, तो उसमें आप वो भी कर सकते हैं। हमारा एक 2500 का पैकेज है, जो आइटम आपको मार्केट से 5000 का मिलेगा वो आपको 2500 में देंगे। और इसके अलावा हमारा एक छोटा एक प्रोडक्ट है जो जिसमें 1500 रुपये का एक हमारा बकेट है, जो आपको मार्केट से परचेज़ करने पे 3000 रुपये का मिलेगा। इसके अलावा देखिए जब टैल्कम पाउडर है हमारे पास, इसके अलावा ये डिश वॉश है, और इसके अलावा फिनाइल है, कंसनट्रेटेड फिनाइल है ये। इसके अलावा हमारे पास ब्लीच केयर, इस कॉस्मेटिक्स में भी आपको चीज़ मिले थे, आपको मैंने HRC दिखाया, हेयर रिमूवर साशे कॉस्मेटिक्स में आ जाता है। इसके अलावा हमारे पास देखिए ये पीच ब्लीच है, 4-in-1 पीच ब्लीच है, ये होगा हमारे पास। इसके अलावा हमारे पास जो है ब्लैक मास्क होता है, इसके अलावा हमारे पास गोल्ड ब्लीच होता है, राइस ब्लीच, ये देखिए आपको दिखाऊँ मैं राइस ब्लीच, ये राइस ब्लीच का बॉक्स है, ये राइस ब्लीच का बॉक्स है। तो ये तमाम प्रोडक्ट आप अपने हमारे व्हाट्सएप पे देख सकते हैं, तकरीबन 100+ प्रोडक्ट होंगे जो आप हमारे व्हाट्सएप पे देख सकेंगे, और उसको आप जो है ना उस पर कर सकते हैं। तो हमें आप, और हमारी जो है पूरे पाकिस्तान में डिलीवरी फ्री है, तो जो भी आप हमसे मंगवाएंगे बकेट अपना, वो उसकी कोई चार्जेस आपको पे नहीं करने पड़ेंगे, वो सारी डिलीवरी चार्जेस हम पे करेंगे। बस आपको चीज़ें सेलेक्ट करनी है, या हमारी जो बकेट्स आपको मिलेंगे व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर, आप उन चीज़ें देख लें। अगर आपको जिसमें माइनस करवाना हो या प्लस करवाना हो तो वो भी करवा सकते हैं। थैंक यू जी। जल्द से जल्द इस बचत से फ़ायदा उठाएं। 50% ऑफ की डील आपको पूरे पाकिस्तान में कोई भी नहीं देगा। तो जल्द से जल्द नंबर व्हाट्सअप का इस पर मेंशन है, व्हाट्सअप पर आएँ और हमसे रब्ता करें। आप अपना लोकेशन दें, आपको तमाम डिलीवर आपको आपकी लोकेशन पे डोर स्टेप पे मिलेगा। जल्द से जल्द रब्ता करें व्हाट्सअप पे जी। ओके जी।